Candace Owens has yet another conspiracy theory. It was the U.S. military that was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm just waiting for her to accuse Pepe Silvia. But shout out to the super chatter who started off the show with that joke. I stole it from him. So shout out to I'm Not Your Buddy guy who super chatted right when the show started. She also has another conspiracy theory that I survived a shooting by my own brother, which is an absolute fabrication. And this is nuts. Because I've been very heavily criticizing her, she's now claimed that I'm in financial distress, suffering some kind of personal issue. I don't know, maybe it was the shooting at my property. I'll give her that one. And that I'm trying to sell my company, so I'm auditioning for Zionists. If that wasn't the best she could come up with, she then today claimed I survived a shooting committed by my own brother, which is the most insane thing anyone could ever possibly say. It is... accusing my own brother of trying to murder me is the stupidest thing imaginable. I don't even know where her brain is. And I have to say this, even though I know you're not really supposed to. But I'm not going to speak on behalf of my brother, who is not a public figure. But holy crap, accusing someone of committing a shooting to murder a family member is, well, let's just call it beyond actionable. Which is crazy that she would, I don't get it. Maybe she's really depressed and just trying to destroy everything around her. I don't know. So I guess we're going to talk about that again. It does seem to be the bigger of the news stories. And everybody's writing about how I had an unhinged rant slamming the table, screaming about it the other day. So agreed. But I guess that's news. So we're going to talk about that. And there's other news, that matters. Like houses are going to collapse. Nobody can afford them. Interestingly, though, when Donald Trump addressed housing affordability, finally, his approval rating went up a little bit. So maybe that's the message Trump needs to have. Hey, we want to make it so you can buy a house and have a family because people really like that. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, we got a whole lot more. But before we get started, my friend, we got a great sponsor for you. It is pdsdebt.com. Fresh start, same system, banks win, you pay. Fees and calls piling up monthly unless you fight back. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands cut their debt and put money back in their pockets, not the banks. Whether you are struggling with credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, PDS Debt has custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs in your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, boasts thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Because PDS has helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. Every month you wait costs you more in interest and fees. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Don't wait another month. Take back control in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you at pds.com/Tim. That is pdsdebt.com, /Tim. There you go. pds.com/Tim, because I messed it up. I'll say it again. And then, of course, my friends, if you haven't already, this may be your last chance to pick up pool water. If you ever wanted to drink pool water, I'd recommend you don't. But if you want to drink crisp, refreshing water, branded pool water, because that's my name, you can go to castbrew.com and grab a case while you still can. Only 74 cases remain. This is a gag product. We're making fun of liquid death. So we made glass bottle pool water because it's supposed to sound gross, but maybe you want to buy it. And then you can ask your friends and they come over, you want to drink some pool water? And they're going to go, oh, what? No. And then you can hand them a bottle and everyone laughs, they high five and tell you how funny you are. That's really why you buy it. Don't forget to also smash that like button, my friends. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is the star of Son of the Mask, Jamie Kennedy.
Wow. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for hanging out. What a night.
Bro, it's good. The pool water is good.
That's a good slogan. It's good.
Yeah.
It's pool water.
Yes.
I like it.
You brought up Son of the Mask, and at first I said shots fired, but then I don't know. Do you like the movie or don't like the movie?
I'll be honest with you, C-.
C-. Thank you for that.
That might be better than a lot of other people gave it, but I didn't. I don't mean this to be rude, but I didn't have a lot of expectations for it as a. It's like a goofy movie where a baby, it's the mask
and a dog.
And a dog. Well, the dog in the first movie did too, but it was, it was like a popcorn flick. I'm sitting there, I was laughing. It's not Lord of the Rings, but all that
Okay.
matters.
Well, I mean, I'm glad I drove 2 hours to come out here. Start with that. Fantastic. No, but you know what? It's crazy you say that because the movie when it came out was hated, reviled.
Yeah, of course.
But now, of course. Jesus, 2 for 2, guys. Drink some pool water. And then now the new generation likes it.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me.
Well, so
But it's not a movie that you should put against normal movies.
Right. You know, and this might be for 3 for 3, but it's so bad it's good. You know what I mean?
Low-key, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Can I just say this? We set out to make a certain type of movie, and we lost control, meaning we didn't have the final say. It's on my YouTube. You can watch the documentary I made about it.
Well, so you're a comedian. Is there? How else would you describe yourself? Actor.
I mean, I hate labels. I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. You know, I'm getting into podcasting. I don't know, just a person that likes to express himself. But probably comedian and actors most of my own.
Well, right on. It's going to be fun having you here. I appreciate you coming down.
Dude, I appreciate you having me, man.
Absolutely.
I really do. This is awesome.
We have Ian.
Hi, everybody. Up in it. Crossland in the house. Good to see Jay.
How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. Let's move it along, Elaad.
Good evening, everybody. I am Elaad Eliyahu, the White House correspondent here at Timcast. What's up, Phil?
Late to the party. Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Oh, we'll start with the big story. We've got this from Mediaite. Candace Owens drops yet another Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory. The U.S. military was involved. Ooh, really? Owens, in a series of Instagram posts on Tuesday, said she was ready to blow this case open. Oh, after 3 months, she finally is going to do it, huh? Based on a tip she received from a service member the night before. Quote, "It feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated and our military was involved. I can't wait to share this information with you guys today." The commentator, who has more than 5.6 million YouTube subscribers and the 10th ranked podcast on Spotify, said the scoop came to her just hours after she went to church and prayed for the final piece to be revealed. Her prayer was immediately answered, she said. In the very first email she saw in her tip inbox right before going to sleep, she did not share more details. Her claim comes after Owens has spent the past 3 months sharing conspiracy theories about the killing of Kirk. Those include claims Kirk was killed by pro-Israel henchmen who were upset he was starting to have rational thoughts about Israel in the months before his death, as well as the claim billionaire activist Bill Ackman made threats against Kirk for his apparent shift away from Israel. And then we have this tweet from Sarah Fields. According to Candace Owens, this is who to blame for the assassination of Charlie Kirk based on her own public statements on X and on her podcast, I've Kept Track. Okay. The French government, including Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron, the French Foreign Legion, 13th Brigade, the Gendarmerie Intervention Group, Israel, Israeli operatives, and Benjamin Netanyahu, Jewish donors, the U.S. government, feds, and the FBI, the deep state, the CIA, Turning Point USA executives and leadership, including Tyre Boyer and Andrew Colvett, Erica Kirk, yes, his wife, Blake Neff, Pastor Rob McCoy, Josh Hammer, Pierre DuPont and DuPont family, Stacey Sheridan, Freemasons, the broader French interests, BB Net, and Yahoo with Israel connections. Egypt and Egyptian operations, e.g. planes and joint exercises, Bolsheviks and anti-Christian forces, maroon-shirted individuals, suspected operatives or military, TPUSA associated influencers, e.g. Alex Clark. Are you done yet? There are only 3 possible reasons for her nonsense. Either she's evil, mentally ill, or a complete grifter. Which is it? Because a truth teller is not even on the table anymore. So, gentlemen, this shocking revelation that the U.S. military was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, what do y'all think?
They missed a partridge in a pear tree.
Ah, yes.
It sounds like she finally figured it out. I don't know. It sounds like she was making fun of Brigitte Macron, and then the French government threatened her life, and now she's just terrified and just doing what she does more because that's made her a lot of money and got her adulation, and her fans tell her they love her.
I have to read this from, what does it say, Metafrost? Tim Pool can't pronounce French words. Agreed.
Is that huh?
I can't pronounce that word. I can't say French things. I can say le chat est sur la table. That's about as close as I'll get to saying anything in French.
I wonder if crackhead Candace will eventually get around to blaming Tyler Robinson for the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Guys, I already
like,
figured this
do you think
out.
she'll get there?
I already figured this out. Do you know what the end of the season finale of this season is going to be? It's going to be Charlie Kirk was responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh, he planted it.
It's like it just goes all the way around until it just creates like an Ouroboros.
Traveled from the past. to the future. And shot himself because he was tired of dealing.
I don't necessarily want to say too soon because we're kind of just making fun of Candace being crazy, but I would expect her to go that far. I mean, the U.S. military, the French Foreign Legion, Israel.
If you accuse enough people, eventually something will be right.
Well, my theory is, do you guys know what Three Stooges syndrome is?
No.
You familiar with this one? Three Stooges. And let me pull this up for you because we've talked about it on the show before. Richie knows what I'm talking about. Three Stooges syndrome. It refers to a state of being overwhelmed by multiple tasks, diseases, or problems so that nothing gets done. And I have an image that I can show you explaining exactly what this is. Let me just pull this one up and zoom in for you.
What an episode I came on.
Here you go. It's demonstrated by this doctor who took oversized novelty germs and tried to push them all through a single door at once, and they all get stuck and can't get in. Thus was why Mr. Burns had every notable disease but wasn't dying. My theory is that Candace Owens is engaging in what we would call Three Stooges syndrome as for defamation. She's trying to defame as many people as possible so that when they all file the lawsuits at the same time, the courts will be overwhelmed and they won't actually be able to finish any of the trials until 40, 50 years from now.
You know, this topic is just, the Charlie Kirk death. I don't know if you were very close with him.
I wouldn't say very close.
It rocked me to my core.
Really?
I knew nothing about him other than he was a political guy.
Yeah.
And to see that image and the video absolutely twisted me up. So it's horrible what happened to him. And, I've talked about it a lot.
Yeah. How would you describe yourself politically? Like not really that political or anything?
I was never political, and I became politicized because I did a movie called Roe v. Wade. And by doing that movie, I was put in 2021, and they said I was a right-winger.
Really?
And I did nothing other than be in a movie about abortion. And through that movie, I had learned a lot about abortion and Planned Parenthood, how it started, Margaret Sanger, all the other things that came up with it. And I did an interview with a paper called The Daily Beast. I'm just an actor and a comedian, bro. I didn't know anything. I didn't know there was left and right and all these agendas. You hear about it.
Yeah.
And then they said all of this stuff. Then I was like, well, that's not true about me. That's not true. And so then I was kind of demonized through that one article, and then it started. And then through COVID, I started like voicing my opinion. But I consider myself a dude who's just, I don't know, normal, which is in the middle, common sense. But now I don't know what I am.
Well, this is still normal, but it's
right.
Normal people in a crazy world look crazy.
This is the where most of us are, right? Like Ian's not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, anybody who met him today would be like, he's kind of nuts. But they'll call him right wing for simply being on this show. They'll call me right wing for simply it's exactly as you described.
Yeah, it's like there's just common sense things, and if you question, the thing is that we should be able to talk about everything, and we should question everything. And when you are not allowed to question something, and you're labeled, that's insane to me. So I say, don't be loyal to a label, be loyal to logic. So there's, I don't care what party you are, what religion you are. After Charlie Kirk, I said this on my podcast, a lot has changed for me. And I don't care about gender, religion, democratic affiliation. I care if you're a good person or not. And I think that's a big thing that people have to understand. And they're going to go, well, what does that mean? I think just common sense of being a good person.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that watch this podcast that are going to basically be like, oh, well, duh, Phil. But the situation that we're in now is if you say things that step out of line with the left, they just essentially say you're right wing. And it doesn't matter how many issues it is. It doesn't matter if it's a lot of issues or just one of the issues they hold dear.
But bro, let me say this. I love that you're promoting your album through this whole thing. Hilarious.
Cheers.
Is that it's changing, and Hollywood is way more common sense than people realize. They just don't want to say it because they don't want to fuck their money up. But their money is changing because more people are like, this is too much.
Well,
you know what I mean? We're getting back to normalcy, which I would consider an 80s movie.
One thing you said
Those were great.
Yeah.
Some of the best movies ever made. Why aren't we making more of those?
Exactly. Well,
bring me to Sherman, Illinois.
Exactly. Like making loud comedies and just that type of stuff. So it is changing.
Where's Groundhog Day? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Isn't it like I love this point
Correct.
because it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's not a big budget. It's literally just a comedian and human actors, and they use film to create a time loop.
Yes.
They don't do special effects, no crazy CGI. It's one of the best movies ever made. All movies today are just lowest common denominator explosions. You rarely get...
Well, that's not true. There's a lot of amazing art, smaller movies.
Sure, but I mean, the point is the big studios aren't releasing these in theaters, and they're not becoming cultural icons.
No, they are. What they're doing is instead of making $10 million movies, they're making $100 million movie. They're making these super movies for $200 million, and they're making way less movies. When I was coming up, you could audition for 4 $10 million comedies a week.
Wow.
Now they don't even make comedies.
Yeah.
So it's
offensive.
Well, yeah, which is insane. But it is changing because of voices like yourself and other people that are saying we're not offended. All the gatekeepers were being offended for people that weren't offended. So comedy is the first thing to kind of loosen up the culture, and I think it is changing.
You said something about how you felt demonized for questioning, I think, or that you were questioning.
Oh, I was
and felt
attacked
strange for questioning.
Yeah.
and that it should be okay to question. What I want to bring that up because we're tying into what Candace is doing, and that's her argument is I'm just asking questions. But I tell you, if you ask the widow of a murdered man, did you kill your husband? That's punishment. That process is punishment for the widow. So, yeah, you might think you're just asking questions, Candace, but at some point, certain questions are more than just questions. And I think then that argument is used against people when they're honestly like, why do I have to get a vaccination? Why? And then they'll be like, hey, some questions are too much to ask. No, I don't know. There's a balance. There is a balance. Mm-hmm. You can psyop culture by asking certain questions. You certainly can.
Would you say that there is a tasteful way to ask even sensitive questions, though? I mean, if you're asking a question, that's one thing. But if you're going on a podcast and posing it to your audience, is the question really the important thing, or is it about actually garnering a larger audience or feeding meat to your audience? That's the kind of topic that they're interested in. Because if you're seriously interested in finding out, in the context here, we're talking about Candace. Candace could reach out to Erica and talk to her. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not that Candace is looking to answer questions. She's looking to pose questions in order to entertain her audience.
Listen, I know what we need to do. Every time we end a segment, here's my plan. I'm going to go like this. Well, it's a really interesting story. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. So thanks for hanging out. Smash the like button. Hold on a minute. I just got an email. Let me check this out. Oh my God!
Was it your special tips email?
Oh my God! This email, this email. I'm gonna have to do another video. Don't miss my show at 1 p.m. when I expose what I just received. It's terrifying. And then you end the segment, and everyone's gonna go, "Oh my God!" Whoa! And then I'm gonna put out an Instagram post where I'm like, "Ian did it." And that's all I'll say. And nothing else. And people are going to be like, whoa, what does he mean? And then like the 1 p.m. segment is like just something stupid about Bonnie Blue getting arrested for banging 1,000 dudes. that happened, by the way.
In Bali, yeah.
Yeah, she got arrested. She got arrested in Bali.
1,000 guys?
No. She banged 1,000 dudes in the UK, but she tried banging like 17 dudes in Bali and they arrested her. So she's going to prison.
Oh.
She's in prison now.
No.
Yeah.
We'll cover this story later anyway.
Gotta get her out of jail.
Let's I got to do it, guys. We got to jump to the next story because welcome to the drama. Welcome to the Candace Show. So Candace Owens has claimed that I survived a shooting committed by my own brother. That's what she posted. And she's doing this because she knows she's intentionally misrepresenting the actual story, and she is lying because this is what she does. So let me just, here's a tweet from her. The shooting Tim Pool survived in December 2022 was committed by his brother, by the way. His brother was the one who fired the weapon on his property. He cannot deny this fact. I will tell you unequivocally right now, there was no shooting that I ever claimed to have survived where my brother fired a weapon. There is no circumstance where in any capacity my own brother tried to murder me or cause great bodily harm to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll be careful because we're brothers and we fought when we were kids. But my brother has never tried to end my life or hurt me in any way, in any serious way. He punched me in the arm once, but come on. Candace is doing this because she is an insane person who lies. So I want to make sure I can say this very, very clearly. The shooting, she put it in quotes, okay? I never claimed there was a shooting in December of 2022. A shooting as if to imply someone came here to shoot. I never claimed I survived a shooting in December 2022. What actually happened? In December of 2022, I posted on X, at our property where we were not present, intruders broke in and a staffer opened fire on these people. I never used the word survived, nor did I claim that my life was in danger or that there was a shooting. She is intentionally misrepresenting a tweet I made, which has resulted in people saying things like this. One of her followers, she didn't say he tried to shoot you. She said it was your brother who had run off from security after breaking into your place. If it wasn't Chris and he wasn't involved, just state that as a fact. Why twist what she said? Okay. My brother Chris never had to break onto the property. You know why? Because he has a key. We ask him to be here sometimes. There's no breaking in. In fact, he can tell the security to leave if he wants to, although I wouldn't recommend it. My brother is actually a manager at the company who does work here. This is an insane fabrication, an absolutely insane story. They've started posting photos of my brother, who's not a public figure. This is how insane it is right now with what Candace is doing. And the crazy thing to me is, well, you know what? I'm not going to say it's crazy. I was having a conversation with a prominent conservative personality. It'll be up to them to say if they want to, I was on the phone with them. They can mention it on their show if they want to talk about this, because I don't want to go into greater detail. But they were just saying she's burning out. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the Macrones in a way that can never be proven. Like Bridget Macron is a man. What's Bridget Macron going to do? Like drop trow on camera? Never going to happen. But she's gotten to the point where to one-up her narrative every day, it has to become increasingly crazier. So today, it's the U.S. military was involved. Like sooner or later, this is the joke we made 10 minutes ago, sooner or later, it's going to go back to like Charlie Kirk traveled from the future to end his own, like some ridiculous, insane narrative. Literally now, because I criticized her and she took issue with it and then made up lies about me, she has tweeted. She put these in quotes. I want to make sure this is very clear to everybody. The shooting, in quotes, I guess technically you can call it a shooting, fine, even though I reported intruders came in and a staff member opened fire on them, that I, quote, survived. I never said that word. I never said it in this context. That is not a real quote. And if you want to make the argument that she's using air quotes as it's meant to represent air quotes, it would imply that I'm dead. So I'm not dead. So survived in quotes makes no sense. I never said that word, never used it in reference to this. In December 22 was committed by my brother. She is outright saying there was a shooting that I claimed, I quote, survived, that my brother committed. This is psychotic. It is beyond defamation. It is absolutely unhinged and vile and evil to claim my own brother would do anything like this. And it's absolutely, absolutely false. She is an evil person. Now, what I can say is we do have this video. Probably shouldn't play it, but I'm going to play it for you. Some guy called the wrong sheriff's department and then asked them whether or not there was a shooting reported, to which they said no. And he says, that proves it, Tim's lying. The only problem is he called some random sheriff's department. Cam Higbee called the correct sheriff's department and they confirmed it. And so I'm going to play the video for you and you can hear it straight from Cam Higbee. Cam Higbee, he censors pertinent details. And so I respect him for doing that. And here's the clip from Cam.
Office. Sorry, I got tongue-tied. Sheriff's office.
No worries. Hi, this is Cameron Higbee. I just wanted to call and verify receipt of a report that should have been filed with you guys, or an incident.
Okay. Do you have the incident number?
No, I have the name of the person and the incident. So there was a shooting in Tim Pool's compound, and I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of that. It would have been last night, so it would have been the night of 12/5. It might have been reported the following morning.
Thank you for holding. I'm so sorry.
Yep, no worries. That's totally okay.
Yeah, we just got bombarded with an issue here, so.
I totally get it. No, you guys have more important things to do, I'm sure.
Okay, so it says here it was a third-party caller that called it in.
Okay. And what road did you say that was?
Oh.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool. So just want to check if that would be the right road. So it's a third-party caller, and was it that incident I described where somebody drove up and kind of just shot at the place?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I'm glad that's on your guys' radar, and that was in, right?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for verifying that. I appreciate it a lot.
The funny thing is, Cam has confirmed report independently. I have not talked to him about this, and they're now claiming still that it didn't happen. This is how insane these people are. So let me just make sure it's very, very clear for everybody. This is also distressing. The fact that people are calling local police departments all over the place and trying to figure out where we live, and that the police would be like, yup, here's all the information you're requesting. It's kind of crazy they do, but at the bare minimum, Cam, verify this. Here's what I love. So some guy calls the wrong department, and they're like, we got no reports of that. And then all of these Candace tards are like, whoa, Tim lied. Cam Higbee calls the correct department, and they go, yep, we've got confirmation of that shooting at Tim Pool's property. And I think they actually said shot at the property. And now they're going, how do we even know it's real? How do we even know this is the real phone call? Prove it.
That's typical of conspiracy theories, though. It doesn't matter what information you present or what evidence you present. It's always looked at as, oh, this confirms. There's always more questions that they're going to ask because they already believe one narrative, and nothing that you present will ever change their mind.
So this is the main reason why I highlight these things. At what point do the people who follow Candace go, well, she must have been lying?
They don't.
Right? I mean, like, she's just putting out fake things, but people just follow her anyway.
So is this about the most recent shooting?
Yeah.
This isn't about the one in 2022. There was another shooting?
Yeah, in 2022, this is before we set up shop and built the studio. We weren't here, and it was early in the morning, and it was either 2 or 3 guys broke in, and we had staff on site, and our staff opened fire on the intruders. Subsequently, we said on the show, don't come to West Virginia. We will shoot you. Like, don't break into our property. You will die. And I don't want that to happen. In this video, you hear they say it's third party. Right. We have a security company. Security company handles everything. We don't think about it. So we have guys all over the property with weapons. It's a beautiful sight to see, like, a dude standing there with an AR-15. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful sight because I love guns and America. It is kind of distressing that it has to be that way. It's still cool because I like guns, But I'd prefer not to live this way. But so yeah, third party called in. The new lie they're using is why was it reported the following day? Because he said on the 5th, and the police report it's midnight. Like, these people don't understand this. The filing was around 2 a.m. Just after it happened. Our security team went on alert and called the police, and there were patrols. And yes, a report was filed. And then the following morning, after we had our bearings together and we knew that everything was secure and we had filed with the police and all that, I put out that tweet saying this is what happened. So the question I have is, when Candace claims that I used the word survived a shooting and my brother committed that shooting, that is beyond defamation. I mean, this is insane. Anybody who knows my brother knows this is just ridiculous. This is absolutely not. He's a veteran. He's an Army veteran. He's not going to shoot me. He never tried to do anything like that to me. It is shockingly offensive and psychotic. But I think for Candace, she has to continually one-up the narrative to create this mystery box drama podcast she's doing. So now she said Tim Pool is going through personal issues. He's having financial troubles. He's trying to sell his company. His brother tried to kill him. It's just soap opera. Now imagine all of our followers being like, whoa, Tim Pool's brother tried to kill him. Like, whoa. That's the world they live in. My buddy Robbie Mann. Robbie, I know you're listening. He was like, dude, it's like a mystery drama, man. Like, I got to watch every episode. It's like, you don't know what's going to happen next. I don't take it that seriously. And I was like, dude, these are real people. She is using as puppets in her soap opera. Aaron McIntyre, in an interview with Tate earlier this morning, he said, you are not a real person. You are a character in her drama. And her audience don't see you as a real person. They see you as a fictional character. They don't understand this is real life. And someone just fired shots at our property. And now Candace makes a thumbnail with my picture on it, Kash Patel, and a mystery person silhouette saying, who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination?
We should pull
that was the
thumbnail.
purpose.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but also her face. I put this up.
That was
before,
funny.
Who benefited the most? And it's her face really big on the thumbnail, and then it's like Tim and Cash next to her. But
no one's going to assume that's her. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know it would be silly, but I mean, she's like, who benefited the most? Candace Owens will tell, and it's like, we'll tell you. And then a couple other smaller pictures was like, who benefited the most, Candace?
Yeah, this is what she did.
Who's benefited?
The $1 billion question, who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination? And mystery person, Tim Pool and Kash Patel.
And Candace Owens, like the biggest, most prominent picture in that title is Candace.
It is accidentally hilarious. You know?
And like
she
subconsciously, maybe even. I'm not like she intended to make it seem like she was the one that benefited the most, but I mean,
she did.
It's her face right next to the question. Big.
I'm not even sure, how does Kash Patel benefit by having the press coverage of solving the actual crime, by finding the actual murderer of Charlie Kirk? Like, is that how he stands to gain here?
It helps his career.
Well, so
By finding the actual murderer of Charlie Kirk, yeah.
So what she'll end up saying is, no, the thumbnail just represents what the show is. It has nothing to do with the title or the $1 billion question, right? In reality, we're not stupid. We know exactly what she's doing. The $1 billion question is the thumbnail. Who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination? If it wasn't meant to imply I or Cash, she wouldn't have included the silhouette man with the question mark. She would have shown people that she would have shown Turning Point USA individuals, people she actually claimed were benefiting.
She's striking that pose. That's that anime pose.
That's the Nicola okay boomer pose.
Bro, this is crazy. I just want to stress this. She said there was a shooting committed by my brother. Like, that's wild.
That's wild. I'm just here to ask some questions too, man. I'm
no, that's
really
a statement of fact. That is a false statement of fact. That is a psychotic, false statement of fact. So, my brother never committed a shooting that I claimed I survived.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not supposed to legally say.
Okay.
Everyone knows what that means.
Because that means
So in 2022, there was a shooting, and she's saying it was your
Look,
brother.
so let's clarify, right?
There was two. There's a lot of shootings.
Well, yeah.
Jesus.
So let's clarify. Shooting is probably a fair verb when our staffer shoots an intruder, right? However, shooting committed by Tim Pool's brother, as if to imply he was trying to kill me, and committed as if to imply it was a crime. So a staffer here fired a shot. She's saying that she put shooting in quotes, I don't know why, and survived in quotes. Okay, I never said I survived the shooting.
So let me ask you this, because I don't know enough about this beef. Weren't you guys friends at one point?
I wouldn't say that we ever were like friends. It's weird. The media said that too.
Like, I'm only learning about this stuff because of Charlie Kirk and the different world that exists. So I thought like you and Candace and Charlie and you guys all talk to each other and different.
Sure.
So, but now it's the road is blazed. Correct.
I don't think it's fair to say that Candace and I were ever friends because she had been on the show I think twice.
She was on your show though.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd been on her show. With Charlie, however, I actually texted with him. You know, I had his number, and I always try to be careful and say that it's tough because I don't want to be disrespectful. If I were to come out and say Charlie and I were not friends, a lot of our mutual friends would be very offended by that statement because like, what do you mean, dude? Charlie believed in you and he worked. Like, you guys teamed up. You were here at M-Fest. He texted you, but we didn't go golfing together. We didn't hang out. We didn't do anything like that. So with Candace, never talked to her. Booked her on the show. She came on the show. We talked. Said thanks for coming. Goodbye.
It was professional engagement.
Right. Yeah. With Charlie, it was a little bit more than that. Right. Like I would text him. I texted him about some stuff, and like I knew him. I knew Erica, and our team were also really good friends with his team and worked with them on a regular basis. So I always try to caveat that, which is kind of I think awful thing to do, but I think it's fair to say we're not drinking buddies. We weren't golfing or anything like that. But I think it would be hurtful to probably his friends and family if I said I wasn't friends with him, you know? Yeah, but I think there's a combination of boredom, political disinterest, and fatigue that has created this world. And I do believe Candace Owens has a largely female audience, and now I'm going to be as offensive as possible as I can. Because someone pointed out to us, I think it was on the show, that Father Ripperger, you've probably never heard of him, but he's a very famous Catholic priest, exorcist. And we did a show with him about exorcisms. And he said, demons refer to themselves in the plural and the third person. So they say, we are legion, that's in the Bible. Demons refer to themselves as we and us. One of the things that you'll notice with a possessed person is they refer to themselves as we and us. Who else does that?
Crackhead Candace.
That's right. Candace refers to herself in the third person. I'm not kidding. She tweets in the third person. This is not a joke. This is meant to be serious. I'm being half joking because I'm not a Christian when I say that she's a demon, but she does use the we and us when she refers to herself, but she also tweets in the third person. She had a tweet at me where she says to blame the pending 2026 midterm loss on Candace Owens is wrong or something like that. And I tweeted like, why is she referring to herself in the third person? That is another characteristic of demonic possession.
It's like
I hope that was offensive to someone claiming to be a Christian.
It's certainly a lack of self-confidence if you disperse like responsibility for your belief into the people around you and say like we think that you. I don't even like speaking for my wife. I'm not actually married at the moment, but when I find it gruesome when a married couple is like, well, we think that. I'm like, bro, let her speak for herself. Tell me what you think.
Wait, are you Christian?
No,
Are you Catholic?
I lapsed Catholic.
You what? Lapsed?
Yeah, that means
Meaning no
I
more?
grew up Catholic, but when I was like 12 or 13, my
You
family.
believe in God?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me,
And demons too, and angels.
100%. This is, the Charlie Kirk thing on the demon side of this. I do believe that whole thing was touched with the divine, meaning that the amount of sickness of people dancing on his grave literally showed themselves as demons. And I'm not a Bible thumper or anything. I don't know enough about it. I was raised Catholic, but do you agree that the ugliness reared its head?
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anything like that.
I think it's demonic.
Yes, 100%. There's no other way to describe it. So we're on the same page with that.
Yeah, we get into the debate quite a bit about Christianity in the Bible, and I'm not a Christian. However, I do believe in God. I actually do believe in most. I would say most of the tenets of Christian morality and the commandments.
Ten Commandments is pretty spot on. I agree.
Yeah, they're fairly based. There are debates over the limits of divinity that I have with Christians. Why I don't consider myself Christian.
Meaning, what does that mean? Limits of divinity.
So there is the omniscience. What is it called? The omniscience paradox or whatever.
Wrong person to ask.
And, well, this is
It's like the Holy Spirit, right?
No, this applies to Judaism all the same. Can God create a boulder so heavy he himself cannot lift it? And Christians believe the answer is no, and I believe the answer is yes. I believe that paradox is a concept of God. God has the ability to, like, our understanding of logic and paradox is of God, and God's decision as to whether or not it is or is not.
Wait, God is God, so he can do anything.
Yeah, Christians believe that God is the logos of the universe, therefore he is bound by his nature. Maybe bound isn't the right word, but he is of his nature, and his nature is logic. Ergo, it is illogical and paradoxical to create a boulder you can't lift. So Christians are in that camp. I'm not in that camp. But yes, I do believe that there is a widespread demonic something going on in this country.
In the world, bro.
In the world. I wonder if that's
In the world, bro. Like, I mean, listen, I'm older than you guys. I grew up in the Catholic Church. I've been in Hollywood for over 35 years. And since COVID, shit's gotten weird.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Charlie Kirk, it was just, my eyes were just, because people were just actively celebrating the most horrific thing you can imagine.
Well, are you familiar with basically the last 3 months of what Candace Owens' show has been?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I don't follow it like you, obviously, because you're involved. But yeah, I mean,
well, only recently because I started calling her out more, and certainly Crowder called her out on a show a while back, and then Allie Beth Stuckey and Ben Shapiro, many people before me. But I think I did it in the most what's the right way to say it? I don't want to say unhinged because I think it was hinged, but it was aggressive and dramatic and emotional. We'll call it that. So a lot of people then started sharing this clip where I'm like slamming the table, calling her a vile cunt.
that was last night.
Yeah. Look, we're on edge. Someone shut the property. Her conspiratards are claiming it never happened, and there's no amount of proof that'll prove it to them. They'll believe anything as long as she says it, even though she never gives any proof.
I mean, do you have footage of it?
We do, but we're not putting it like so. Here's the impossible circumstance.
It's up to you. I mean, but if you just show the footage, you'll shut everybody up.
Show the people trying to kill me where our cameras are placed.
No, you're right.
And show them the entrant.
My bad.
Exactly.
My bad.
So the first thing I did was I talked to the security team. I said, "What can we release?" And they were like, "Nothing," because now everyone knows where the cameras are and they know how to get in the property. And I said, "Okay." Well, Cam Higbee called the sheriff, and the sheriff said, yes, Tim Pool's property was shot at, and it's not good enough. So this is what they said.
Cam Higbee is who?
He's a reporter.
Who's the guy that was just on the
Yeah, he's the guy that was reading.
Could you get cops? What if the cops said it?
Had what?
If the sheriff said, did they report?
The FBI said that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
They don't believe it.
I don't know how much any law enforcement,
This is the point. Maybe when we leave, because we're planning on relocating immediately, we're this is our last week here, and then we're having emergency meetings. Because I'll put it, it's not just us. We talked about this yesterday. A lot, like Charlie's dead. Many other prominent personalities are getting death threats, close calls. Benny Johnson, Laura Loomer, Matt Walsh, Cat Turd had a guy show up. I don't know about all their houses, but at Benny's house, they believe he was armed and he was threatening to kill Matt Walsh's family. So we're having emergency meetings over how we navigate moving forward because it is getting that serious. Maybe when we leave, I'll have no problem being like, yeah, here's the footage. But here's the thing. Our security guys are like, you really think they're going to believe it? They're going to claim it's AI. There's like literally nothing you can do.
Very true on the AI. Here's what's crazy. Do I get a little bit of a gold star for showing up this week?
Yeah,
because I'm over
just
there
as much as the rest of us.
This is your world, bro. I'm with Max, who's out there, and I go, and Max sends me the thing, and I wrote, bro, and I go, I wrote that, and I go, is it still on? He goes, yeah, and I go, are we going? It goes, yeah, these things happen. People get shot at. That's Max, meaning, but no, to his defense, it's like, it's that, dude, I would never have done this a year ago. But it's so insane. And before the show, we're talking about Civil War, how you were educating me on civil
strife.
Civil strife.
That's my thing.
It's fucking insane. I'm a comedian, ask some people. And just speaking out, if we're not allowed to give our opinions on things without this insanity, what world do we live in? So I came here because we have to be able to talk. And you are, whatever you're moving on, but you are talking, and it's important.
We think there's they say when God closes a door, he opens a window. Mm-hmm. And so one of the biggest challenges that the independent media space, the right-wing space, whatever you want to call it, even though it's really weird to say you're like,
so far, you're like, to me, to come out here, people are like, oh, he's right-wing, all this stuff. Tomorrow, you're not, I don't think you're super right-wing.
Well, this is the thing.
You're moderate.
I'm fairly.
Yeah, but fairly liberal actually, but left and right actually. But left and right is not about your politics anymore. It's about your tribe in this conflict. Mm-hmm. So what we've found is it's a mistake to have all these different little islands everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so we've been talking with the Rumble guys, and we're like, we need a studio. We need to bring everybody together, and we need to. Fox News has this.
You're talking about other people like-minded like yourself to be in one hub.
Yeah.
So like a Crowder, I'm not saying you're saying this, or, like you're saying Laura Loomer, and all in a place.
Yeah, like
a news network.
Loomer does her thing, exactly. But more like a channel with news programming and sports and gaming or otherwise. The reason being, we all can't afford security. This is the big challenge, right? So, Candace is not there lying, claiming that we're under financial distress. Yeah, because people are trying to kill us and we have to hire insane amounts of security. Sure, that's absolutely financial distress. The show-wise, we're very profitable. We do great. So the issue now is, as the threat level increases and we have to hire more security, which is not something you should have to consider for the most part, but this is the world we're in, then yes, the costs become, you don't have to pay for it. You can run your business. It's not a core function of producing content. It's a core function of survival when people are shooting at you. If we do a single hub, you get one security company that covers all of the content. So these are just part of the conversations we're having on these emergency meetings, but I think it's potentially awesome because it could mean that content is better in bigger studios with more crossover, new personalities, new shows. I think it could be massive for Rumble, and I'm very excited. It is upsetting because we have friends, we have family, we have community where we are. We've been here for years. We have neighbors, we have stories, and we either go into semi-hiding where I only do solo shows, or maybe a show's with a couple of people, but no guests, no public location, hidden. Or we bring the shows to a facility that is secure. It was Gary the other day had a great idea with a penthouse, because then you can't even get up to the top floor. So we're exploring all of these ideas of how you do a studio that is secure.
Do you know what that is, bro? Do you know what he's referring to?
A penthouse, yeah.
Blade Runner. Have you seen it at least? Have you seen it recently?
No.
Have you ever
Original
seen
or the
it?
new one?
No.
Bro.
Can you give us the rundown?
Bro.
Yeah, there's a
He
turtle.
knows what it is.
On his back, in the sun, what do?
No, basically.
Turtle over there. Help him off the road.
Well, there's replicants, but that's a whole other thing. But basically, this is not a crazy thought, which is it's a cement tower, let's say 200 feet, and at the top is a penthouse, and you can't get to it. So society's gone completely apocalyptic, and you can't. It's just like cement. There's nothing to grab onto.
Elysium.
Yeah.
You see that movie?
Elysium is also like this. So it's
All
a
speak French.
wild thing, but it makes sense. But my question is, has it ever been, are we seeing everything, or is it extra? Meaning, has there always been this much threats and political violence?
No.
Or are more voices are speaking out more now and we see everything? Because we see everything.
There's more threats. There's always
Than ever, correct?
There's always
think
well,
so.
not than ever. We're not in a full blown civil war, but we are in a.
Meaning, like,
political
there
one.
could have been people in Cuba if they had Twitter going crazy in the 70s,
Well, in the
saying all this
in the
shit.
early
What
part
I'm saying.
in the early part of the 70s, there was something like 1,500 bombings in the United States. So it's ebbed
Like
and
the
flowed.
Olympics, yeah, remember
Yeah,
that.
it's ebbed and flows. Like there was a bomb that blew up in the Capitol in the 80s.
Well, like,
So-
I feel like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I feel like as a kid, when we would see Nightline, that was the only thing we would see, but we would see a lot of violence from over there.
Yeah.
Wherever over there was.
The United States was more unified in the late 80s, 90s, kind of than it has been since the aughts and moving forward.
For an independent podcaster who's very huge, I'm saying you're taking these massive amounts of security that you need.
Yep.
So and you're saying this is a common thing with a lot of people.
Well, yes, there are a lot of people that are in this space that receive death threats. I mean, like, look, I'm not even the lead guy here or anything like that. And there are people that send me crazy messages and stuff like that. So, like, it is fairly normal to be in this space and receive, either hate mail or threats. 99% of the time, they're not to be taken seriously. You don't even talk about them, but clearly there is a small 1% of the time where someone will actually go out and do something crazy.
I think-
and it's shown like with the attempts on Donald Trump's life, the 2 last year, and
Almost
then
3. There was like a third.
yeah, there was a third guy that was talking, and then there was someone that ran up on stage that arguably it could be 4, but yes, it has ramped up. But that's why I said earlier it ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I agree with Phil. It ebbs and flows, but I think a major factor here is social media and the proliferation of social media, and it allows people to voice their opinions on this. And unfortunately, it's become totally normalized and celebrated. These murderers are oftentimes on the left. I think people think the ends justify the means, and according to how things are going right now on the right, as Tim has said before, again, the assassination of Charlie Kirk has been the most impactful in a generation. Going back to Luigi Mangione, people celebrate this shit. People celebrate Luigi and say that our healthcare insurance situation in our country is shit. How many people did Brian was it Brian Thompson, I believe
that was his name.
the healthcare United Healthcare Insurance Company's CEO at the time, he said, how many people did he murder by denying different claims and whatnot? So people justify this violence towards people, and I think it increases the violence that we see towards people. It's reinforcing itself. Also, we're coming off the heels of I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a lot of Zionists are being and Jews are being targeted for their pro-Israel stances. We've seen a couple of people be murdered outside of outside of an Israeli embassy, I believe, in Washington D.C. Not too recently, Josh Shapiro had his building firebombed, and people believe that these people deserve to have violence brought against them because of their political beliefs. And I think we're going to continue to see more of that. People believe that they can take we believe in vigilantism. And I'll say in Hollywood too, I feel like we really do romanticize the anti-hero and the idea of the vigilante.
But I mean,
Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies.
Dude, you're not wrong about the anti-hero, but Charles Bronson, there was reason, there was context there. You could get behind him.
I
But
don't
you're
know what
saying
that
How old are
Talking
you?
about Death Wish. The
I
movie.
haven't.
It was a vigilante.
I don't watch.
can't.
I do politics, but I don't do Hollywood.
Well, you brought it up.
I don't know. I can't
I'm closer to
reference-
your age than you probably.
He brought it up,
Yeah.
and then he's like,
I'm closer to your age
No,
than
look,
you realize. But
Luigi
the
Mangione can
anti-hero,
have the
I believe-
justification
the
for
anti-
why he did
no,
what he did.
The anti-hero in Hollywood was a character that you get behind, and
Yeah.
even executive go, well, what's his justification for it? What you're saying is that these people will justify it, and then people like me are going, that's not justifiable.
People justify
It's just-
anything.
They're insane.
but
If you're pro-Israel, then
Elaad,
you support
Elaad.
genocide. If you
Elaad.
support Luigi Mangione, you're against, health insurance.
A lot.
Health insurance companies taking
Nowadays,
advantage of people.
the stuff that you're talking about,
He's got
is
chicks
all-
out in the house for him. It's crazy.
like right now, the stuff that you're talking about is all a narrative that's been built by the left that's really been forced down people's throat for the past 15 to 20 years, right? The idea that people that are somehow aggrieved by society or aggrieved by the system, they have the right to enact violence on people that they perceive as being the oppressor. And that's a narrative that you see across the left. It's the far left narrative being made mainstream because of basically the things that are being taught in colleges and the narrative that you see overall on the left.
It's fascinating, too, because I think we're seeing a lot of violence from the far left and LGBTQ groups. A lot of these disgruntled trans people. Allegedly, Tyler Robinson had a relationship with some trans person, and one of the reasons for the attack allegedly was because Charlie Kirk was so staunchly against the transgenderism, the ideology of transgenderism.
You can hear it in their vernacular, the way they talk. They say things like, "You don't think that I have the right to live because you don't believe that a man can become a woman."
Yeah.
The way that they perceive things is you don't validate the beliefs that I hold, and that means that you're enacting violence against me.
And instead of acknowledging this very real threat from these literally mentally ill far leftists, we have crackhead Candace yapping her mouth about this random bullshit, making me reconsider, I don't know, maybe the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Maybe forcing businesses to accept everybody was a mistake. Maybe giving the legal groundwork for reverse discrimination in our country was a mistake.
But you can't demonize a whole group because of radicals.
Well, I mean, that's true, but
You can't just say LGBTQ.
No.
You can't just throw the whole group in.
But you can demonize the radicals.
Yeah, you can demonize radicals.
But to your point, Elaad, there's a real clear polling poll that came out today that said that Trump is polling higher than Obama or Bush on this day in their
Should we pull that?
Yeah, bring it up.
I think it's a battle of rhetoric because many of these trans people with a lot of mental illnesses will say that Charlie Kirk was advancing a genocide against trans people because he was denying their identities. Therefore, violence against Charlie Kirk was justified. So, it really depends on how you view it because they say that Charlie Kirk was literally being violent to them. He never actually was, but that's how they describe his actions and rhetoric towards them.
Yeah, but
Let's pull this poll up. Check this out. Trump polls higher than Obama and Bush on this day in history. They're trying to claim that Donald Trump is failing. And I certainly have my criticisms, and I have no problem criticizing him on the Epstein stuff and being off message. However, when, I'm talking to this liberal guy and he says, what's Trump's approval rating? And I'm like, well, in aggregate, it's, 44 or whatever, 43. And he's like, that's right, it's low. Obama was worse and Bush was worse. In fact, surprisingly, Trump is doing better than the past two presidents for the same time in his presidency. I think this lends itself further into the conversation we're just having about political violence escalation. There are people in this country that are liberal or on the left. They danced on the grave of Charlie Kirk. They celebrated his death. They celebrate these acts of violence against Nick Sorter and Andy Ngo. And they don't want Trump to be in power. They call him a white supremacist, a fascist. But Trump is winning. Even when they come out and say, look how poorly he's doing in the polls, it's like, oh, wow. Actually, he's better than the past two presidents in the same time period. He's doing very well, relatively.
This speaks to your point about how the things that Candace is focusing on and making these wild claims and stuff, it totally detracts from the actual important issues, which are things like this, right? Like to keep people motivated to get out and vote for the conservatives and the right in the upcoming election.
Cheap housing. We could be talking about graphene housing so easily. Graphene and concrete, 50% more durable, bulletproof walls, bulletproof, explosion-proof walls that are cheaper and lighter.
You don't build houses out of concrete normally. You build the foundation.
They're doing it
and
now.
You build the house out of wood.
Now the 3D printed
Or
concrete.
have you heard of super wood? It's like stronger than steel, but made out of pure wood.
Sounds like someone's working for Big Graphene.
He is.
Oh yeah,
I'm a carbon
he
man.
definitely is.
Big carbon.
How much stock you got in graphene companies, Ian?
Not much, only a few grand right now.
How much you want to bet
right?
Ian bought a bunch of stock in a bunch of graphene companies, and that's why he comes in the show? He's just pumping it.
No, I would start my own.
Yeah.
Shit.
Here's what
Insider trading graphene. He is not insider.
I'm
Nobody
pumping
thinks he
shit out of
would.
that.
Nobody would think he'd be business savvy enough to do it.
you
We
wouldn't
underestimate you, Ian.
Here's the thing with this. By playing clubs and all over the country, this is not surprising to me at all. It wasn't surprising to me. I mean, just play Greenville, North Carolina, or South Carolina. Play Scottsdale. But I also play New York. And New York, Trump, you could say New York is as blue as you want. It's more red than people realize. LA is more red than people realize.
Yeah.
So, the problem is if you said you like Trump, you got shamed for it. So what do they call it? The silent majority? So that's the thing. And so it's like, I'm not surprised at all. Here's the thing when people come for Trump and they go, oh, 6 failed businesses or whatever. You try to start a business.
Yeah.
I can tell you stocks that I've lost a lot of money in, not graphene. And I've also made money. This is what you do. It's a learning process. That's like going on stage and having a killer joke every time. No, you're going to bomb. It's like making great movies every time. According to Tim, Son of the Mask was a miss. So listen, it's just like, I don't believe all this, but I do believe this because the people do feel this way.
Yeah, and to your point, like we were saying earlier, it's important to keep people motivated because this is something that we talk about a lot. Like, if the Republicans lose the majority in Congress this coming election, the Democrats are going to shut everything down. The president is not going to be able to do any more of his agenda. Everything that he gets done up to that point that they can undo, they will undo, which granted, when he's the president, they're not going to be able to because it's been executive orders. But go ahead.
Is that like, I'm just taking my ball and go home? I mean, it's literally,
Yes.
that's insanity.
Yeah,
that's
totally,
insanity.
It's totally tribal politics. And
That's
then
insanity,
If the
dude.
if the conservatives lose, if the conservative candidate loses in the next presidential election, because most of the things that Donald Trump has gotten done or gotten accomplished are executive orders, it's all going to be undone. They will open the borders again. You'll have a massive influx of illegals and immigrants and stuff, and you're going to see the DOJ start targeting people that are in the conservative sphere. They're going to go after. They're going to go right back after parents that care about what their kids are learning in school because they've already done all this stuff, and it'll be just like it was during the Biden administration. And this stuff matters, and the Candace stuff, I know people care about it, and it fills the void they have for entertainment, but that stuff doesn't affect the vast majority of Americans.
People are scared to speak out because they know that they have an audience overlap with Candace. I know some of these people. I know people, listening, know who some of these people are. I remember back in 2019, when we were in Jersey, I went to Best Buy. And I can't remember what we were doing, buying monitors or something. And I met some guy who was like, hey, you're Tim Pool, right? I'm a big fan. And I shook his hand, and then he immediately starts talking about weird QAnon stuff that I had no idea what he was talking about. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. And he was like, yeah, Q said this or that or otherwise. And I was like, I don't know about all that, brother. That sounds made up. And he's like, no, man, you just gotta you gotta look into it. And for me, it was kind of like, I didn't realize those kind of people followed me. I mean, I guess I kind of did, but it's not like the core of our audience. And I think the reality is most commentators have a percentage of their fans that are going to be low reading comprehension. That's not meant as an insult, but low reading comprehension, easily gaslit or manipulated. Candace is building her show around this, intentionally attracting these people. That's why she says we and us. They even come like she's talking about me and our movement. And it's like, she doesn't care about you. She's doing this to build audience. The reason why, what was her quote? She said, I'm not a flat earther or a round earther. I've abandoned the cult of science or something like that.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to offend anybody. She's going for it was something like that. It's lowest common denominator. But let's say you're a Twitter personality or a YouTuber. You might be saying like, look, 15, 20% of my audience are big fans of hers. I'd rather not piss them off by saying anything. So nobody wants to say anything. They're all scared of losing audience. Surprisingly, it seems that there are only a small amount of people who aren't scared. Nick Fuentes being one of them. I actually love that clip where he said, someone said, why did you stop noticing when it came to Charlie Kirk? And then he was like, I'm not even going to pretend to rationalize what you're saying. You're an idiot. And then he goes, respectfully, no, disrespectfully. You're a moron. I thought it was fantastic. That he's not going to play that game. Allie Beth Stuckey came out and was critical of Candace Owens, and politely, much more politely than I would have been, or that I was, and Ben Shapiro. But there are a lot of personalities right now, they don't want to see their subscriber count go down. They don't want to do it. Well, if that's the world we live, my whole point was I'm not interested in living in that world. My interest is this. Is Donald Trump doing a good job or not? Because I'm not about the Republican Party. I can't stand the Republican Party. Ugh. I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene being ousted and fighting with Trump. I think she did I think she was one of the best we had, although I think it's fair to have criticisms of her. Totally fine. But she came on this show and talked about how in Congress they weren't actually voting on bills. And she, along with Massey and others, forced them to come and vote on these bills. And then Trump casts her out, and the infighting is stupid. But that being said, I remember COVID. I remember the vax mandates and the lockdowns. And this was largely led by Democrat governors in these states. They put COVID patients in nursing homes and killed people. Trump is not completely innocent here either. But it was the Republican Party that offered up the pushback. That Ron DeSantis in Florida was where AOC was vacationing to get away from her own state's lockdowns. That if you were voting for a Republican in Congress, they were going to oppose the mask mandates. They were showing up to Congress refusing to wear the masks. That's why I think they're the Washington Generals to the Democrats' Harlem Globetrotters. I'd still prefer they win, even if it is just a doorstop and not an actual effort, not an actual battering ram like the Democrats are. I will take it. And we can then focus on forwarding the line. But what we're seeing with the Candace Conspiratard reality show garbage, we're going to lose the midterms. And her only response was to refer to herself in the third person, claiming that it's stupid to blame her for it.
Wait, if you're not, because you say you don't subscribe to any party, and I don't either, but I'm considered to the right, which I definitely probably am. But you still support the Republican candidates because they're the best ones. You're an independent.
Right, so
right now you want to see Trump go again, and you want to see that.
You know what's interesting is my family grew up Democrat in Chicago, like most people who live in big cities. And then I became fairly moderate, independent, slight libertarian leanings. But the Libertarian Party I'm not a big fan of because they're kind of wacky. And that meant I was like, I usually vote Democrat. I thought the Republican Party was stodgy, like McCain. Give me a break. Mitt Romney? I'm not voting for that guy. But I didn't vote for Obama. I voted for Obama the first time, the second time.
I did too. I only voted once, and I voted for Obama.
Me too. So my first time voting for a president was Obama. Second time I said, I'm not interested in this.
I didn't. Same thing.
Yeah, me too. That's
same thing. And that's because I was traveling around the world, and people forget this. Bush was made fun of so much.
Yeah.
And in America, they said, oh, you're a joke. So I'm like, oh, you need to change, show progression. So I voted for Obama.
We get Hillary versus Trump. And I just remember I was hanging out in, where was I? I was hanging out with Frank up in just north. Was it Connecticut? I don't know. I forgot where your studio is, Frank. Shout out. And we were watching the debate. And I think it was where Trump said, you'd be in jail. And we were laughing our asses off. And I was like, I ain't voting for any of these clowns. Hillary Clinton wants to go to war with Russia. I'm not interested in World War III. And Donald Trump is a joker. I'm not interested. I abstained. Trump wins the whole time. I'm basically saying Trump's bad office decorum. The office of the presidency should be better than this, but they are lying about him. Then the primaries come up for the Democrats, and I'm basically like, let's go. Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang donated the maximum. 2020, I'm like, let's go. Tulsi and Yang. And what do? Joe Biden. So what did I say? I ain't voting for that guy. Donald Trump releases his second party second term plan. And I said, I'd be a hypocrite if I ignored all the things he's pointing out, like getting rid of DEI in contracting, no new wars, which he's been really gun for his first time. I said, okay, I'm going to vote for Trump on this one. I still think he's lacking in certain areas, decorum, particularly. I don't think
decorum meaning the way he talks.
Yeah, he's a dick.
But don't you love that he's just blunt?
I would say this. Even to this day, I would prefer like a noble leader riding on a steed, championing, to his men, we will be a great nation, and he speaks clearly. J.D. Vance has it. But Donald Trump saying piggy and stuff, it's Trump. I'm used to it. I laugh. You know what I mean?
First of all, you're talking to me, so if something's funny, I'm going to forgive it first. That's my language. So, yeah, should he say piggy? No. But was it funny? Of
course.
I laughed my face off. But here's the thing. I got to push back on this. Hilarious, bro. Is that you say decorum, but can't you just say it's all pomp and circumstance anyway? Like, there's shit going on behind. I actually think that he took the office of the president and made it real. Meaning that it isn't
absolutely.
it's all bullshit that we had up into him, and now he's showing warts and all. Like, dude, think about it. I mean,
No, I can respect that.
think about all the dirty things that presidents have done behind closed doors.
I think J.D. Vance does it. Have you seen what he tweets?
I like J.D. Vance because I think he's smart and chill, and he still does what you want, but he's also real. I like him a
You
lot.
saw like, what did he do? He called someone a dipshit.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, he's got the professionalism, but can sometimes dish it out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a best of both worlds scenario. But when it comes to the Republican Party, here's the issue. I don't completely agree with them on policy, and they're feckless and ineffective. But here's the thing. The reason I brought up my support for Democrats in 2020 is, as an independent, I do not foresee a future where a viable Democrat appears that a moderate could vote for.
Dude, use English.
AOC is a lunatic, and Zoran Mamdani makes promises he can't fulfill. Elizabeth Warren lies and proposes policies that make literally no sense, and Chuck Schumer the same. Nancy Pelosi is a crackpot. Thank God she's getting out. What candidate do the Democrats have where I can be like, that represents the moderate individual? There's nobody.
Well, I know, and I live in California, and we have Gavin.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no way I'm supporting him.
The Democrats you would support are working for the president. Tulsi Gabbard.
Exactly.
And,
RFK Jr.
RFK Jr. Our DNI
Are they-
HHS secretary right now.
Are they Democrats?
They were.
And Tulsi and RFK Jr. are great.
Exactly.
So
I
are they
think
just
they're
Democrat in name, but not really?
No, they're not even Democrat in name anymore.
Tulsi was in the party and then left the party because she was being treated so poorly, and then was asked by Trump. And I think RFK was always independent. I don't think he
RFK
was-
ran as a Democrat, I believe, then went independent and then joined the administration. I'm going to double check.
That is what a damning thing to happen to a political party. That is.
See, the thing is, because you guys know way more than I do, the two-party system, do you agree, needs to be disrupted?
Yes.
And how is it? Will it ever be disrupted?
No.
I don't know that it's possible.
I like
Trump
the
was an
two-party
independent.
system.
Huh?
I like the two-party system. I think the two-party system is a good thing. I think it helps prevent extremism. I think the moderates in both parties are able to normalize, like.
But there
to
are
regulate the
extremes. There are extremes
No,
on
like
each
for
side.
example, the Democrats have the socialists, but they, kind of malign them within the party. And like there are racists in the Republican Party, but the Republican Party largely, maligns them. So they keep their extremists in check. And if you are popular enough in the party, you could take over the party, which is what President Trump did. President Trump didn't come from like an interest group within the Republican Party, and he managed to take the whole thing over. And if you want to take over the party, I feel like it's there for the taking for both parties. And both parties also evolve as time changes. I think we're going into a realignment right now where both parties are going to be very different in 10 years than they are now.
I'm sick of the Republicans doing nothing. They just do nothing. They have power and they do nothing. They do nothing.
Well, they're doing mass deportations right now. I think that's the
No. Donald Trump that's executive branch.
Well, they had to pass the one big beautiful bill in the House, which passed most of the president's agenda because they had such a slim majority, as I understand.
I will give them that.
And it was Thomas Massey, again, who did vote and posture against this. And then it was also like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who you were complimenting earlier, who forced the vote on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, which sunk a lot of it wasted time in the
Trump
Congress.
screwed up the Epstein stuff, and there's no way around this. That's just end of story. There are. Let me ask you this: what do you think about the Epstein stuff?
What do I think? It should be 100% exposed.
And how do you think Trump handled it?
Very weird. When he
Agreed.
said, we're talking about this again, that whole thing when you ran on, and listen, I love Trump, but to run on that and it's the most horrific crime that can be committed, and then to sit there and say, I'm going to put out all the names, and then just go that one day where he goes, Are we still talking about this? Like, what? That was a bizarro land. So, no, it needs to be exposed. And clearly, there's something being covered up.
I think this is
and
a
regular
trick to waste
people-
time. Frankly, I don't think anything's going to come of the new Jeffrey Epstein Transparency Act.
Trump could have responded. Like, here's the point I made in the beginning. As soon as Dan Bongino and Kash Patel do these interviews, and everyone's like, "That's weird." Dan Bongino could have literally come out and just said, "Trust us, guys. We're working on it. It's going to be rough because we're investigating and it may take time. Thank you and have a nice day." And that people were like, "Oh wow, Dan's on the case." And that's that. Trump coming out being like, "It's a hoax, Democrat hoax. Ignore it." That's weird and unnecessary.
Yes, bizarre.
Trump didn't
weird that
do
it's a hoax.
So I think
where are we
the
at with it?
distraction was a hoax. Okay, that's what a hoax was, because again, between all of us, we know that people who are crazy about the Jeffrey Epstein files will never be satisfied with no matter what comes out, and Democrats were using this as an excuse to bog down the President Trump administration from accomplishing anything else. So while the president was trying to do anything, deport illegal immigrants, prevent new wars from breaking out, you have Thomas Massie trying to force the vote on something that won't change the hearts and minds of anybody.
Listen, Trump could have handled it better. That's the point. Fact.
Is it still being handled?
Fair.
Yes.
Is it so? Are we having it come out?
A judge just ordered the release, starting with the Ghislaine Maxwell grand jury testimony. And it's funny because the judge was like, "This is ridiculous. We shouldn't do this, or I'm going to do it anyway."
And as I understand, though, Pam Bondi could censor anything that she deems a secret to national security, or if there are victims that they're going to block out. But again, the people who want to see more Jeffrey Epstein files, again, won't be satisfied with this.
We're not going to get anything substantive, which is why it's stupid, because Trump could have literally been like, "Yeah, we're going to get it out. We're working on it right now. Thank you." And then Pam could have just censored whatever they didn't like. Trump handled it miserably.
Sure.
I think the evidence has already been destroyed. I don't think we're going to get the truth on this stuff. And I think whether you believe Trump was in on it or not, I don't think Trump is implicated by it. I think he just did not handle it properly, and it created confusion and disarray, which resulted in an opportunity for Democrats to attack. Listen, I don't care all that much about it. We don't need to debate the Epstein stuff. It's coming out. It's done. The point is, Trump has some mistakes, but as a president, he's doing fairly well, as we point out with this polling. The Republicans in Congress are doing very little.
I think I agree with you. I think in particular the president messed up on this, but Pam Bondi really dropped the ball when she invited all those influencers in and made them look like idiots when they had these binders of allegedly new information regarding Jeffrey Epstein, but didn't. Tim, I did want to ask you, though, following her announcement that she's not going to be running for re-election, Marjorie Taylor Greene's been making her rounds around the media circuit. I don't know if you've seen on CNN, 60 Minutes, bashing the president, essentially. She also went on a couple of podcasts saying, explaining how we're going a little bit too far and it's a little bit too cruel how ICE is going around.
Trump's going neocon. It's so funny.
What does that term mean?
So, well,
you guys speak some terms sometimes.
It means you're not limp-wristed. If you're a neocon, you're not limp-wristed. That's really what it comes down to.
What is it?
You're not limp-wristed.
Okay,
you have a spine. If you're a neocon, you're just not a huge pussy. That's really what it comes down to.
Neoconservative is a political term that usually reference the the elements of the Republican Party and conservatives in this country who believe in foreign intervention, war, the petrodollar, establishing U.S. military might around the globe.
Peace through strength. In short, neocons believe in so-called peace through strength, that we could use our military and our huge military to help instill peace across the country and planet. Sometimes that leads to war and conflict, but that's the ideology of the neocon. Peace through strength.
Yeah, but we should use. Is that bad?
Well, Tim thinks so.
So let me ask you this. So Rhino is Republican in name only, meaning that they are, but they don't subscribe to all the Republicans.
Rhino is just because you're pissed at somebody and you want to slander them as a Republican. Right. So, for example, I'll say, Thomas Massie's a Rhino because he never votes with Republicans or not on the most substantiative bills.
But bro, that's like my Charles Bronson for you. I don't know who Thomas Massey is. So I got you back.
I got a question. Okay. Should we have invaded Iraq and Afghanistan
this year?
No. Originally. Back in 2000, should we have invaded Iraq and Afghanistan?
All right, dude, this is a question, hard question. So let me ask you this: I don't want any wars.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Obviously,
not a neocon.
We live in a crazy world, but if it was for oil and for us to take the oil and raid the country, then no. But if it was to protect innocent people and protect them from a dictator, then yes.
I think it was.
Then I would say you are in neocon territory. I don't.
Is that a good thing?
No, according to Tim.
Yeah, I'd say no, because I think the idea that do you want to invade China next?
No,
why not?
I don't want to invade anybody.
Then
the argument is
why invade Iraq?
I have no idea. Was
this
it
is the
for
point.
oil or was it for weapons of mass destruction? And then wasn't there the whole there were no WMDs?
Well, for
So
oil,
what's the
for,
truth?
for oil is I would say for oil is a simplification. It's control of oil supply as a byproduct of U.S. domination in the Middle East. So
English.
They wanted the Suez Canal.
Oil.
They want to control the Suez Canal.
Simple.
That's all it is, really.
Oil.
And actors didn't even think. So what? Let's go simple, because I'm telling you, this will help, dude. Even though I know you got a real smart crowd, you're saying that we invaded it for oil, correct? To steal their oil. Is that what you're saying?
So no.
Okay.
However,
So that would be wrong. Do we all agree with that? Would be wrong. We're taking their oil. It's not our oil. Do you agree with that?
That's such a hard
here's
question.
the
because if they're
issue.
evil.
If they're evil, obviously there's.
We want a Democratic
hold on.
ally.
The question is simply like this.
Fuck, dude.
Here's your answer.
Yeah, you're an
What
ass.
is pi? Ian, what's pi?
Yeah, what's pi?
3.1415. It's
Right.
whoa.
Or pumpkin.
Hold on, no.
Exactly.
The number. How many digits of pi can you give me?
7.
What are they?
5. 3.1415. That's all.
9, 2.
I don't know.
How many digits of pi do you know?
Dude, 3.144, and I think it keeps going.
3.14.
Infinite. It's infinite.
Oh, 3.14159, and I think 2 is next, but that's about as far as I know of pi. And I'm not saying this to be like, haha, I got you, you don't know what pi is. My point is,
I don't.
if Ian started sitting here reciting pi to the 100th digit, you'd be like, I don't know if that's true or not. If I tried to explain to you the history of the region and the U.S. military operation, you'd be like, I don't get it. So the easiest way to describe it is oil.
So no. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you said, should we invade? I'm not a expert on geopolitics or anything like that. So you said, should we invade it? If they were a threat to us, then yeah, probably we should protect
Okay,
ourselves.
now here's a question.
We're going to just steal their resources.
What do you mean by threat?
If they're going to nuke us.
Okay, they're not
They're
gonna-
going to make a dirty bomb. If they're going to drive something into the fucking LBC. Do you know what
Okay,
that is?
so
Long Beach.
So here's the issue.
Or the two nipples in San Diego.
The real issue is
Really simple.
The real
dirty
issue-
bomb.
I fuck with
That's-
Hollywood.
Dirty bomb Debbie.
The real issue is that Saddam Hussein wanted to trade oil outside of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. controls what's called the petrodollar.
Yes.
If you want to buy oil, you got to use U.S. dollars.
Yes.
So the U.S. said, kill him. We invaded Afghanistan for nebulous reasons, largely, I'd imagine, to put military bases surrounding Iran for a pincer strike. Because John Bolton wanted to invade Iran. Because Iran also doesn't want to be on the petrodollar.
Let's go.
Should we bomb drug boats coming from Venezuela?
That's a different story. And the
No,
answer
just-
is, in this circumstance, with what is currently going on, I would say yes.
Many people would believe that makes you a neocon.
Oh, shut up. Come on.
No, I'm sure. Go ask your libertarian
That's
friends.
not what-
All of them would call you
That is
a neocon as a result
that
of
is not the same thing.
I agree with you, but writ large,
The
any
US
military action done abroad makes you a neocon. That's
not
how
abroad.
people
Neocon is what?
conservative.
Okay.
But it's meant to
That mean new
represent
conservative?
a
Yeah,
hawkish.
Started like the 80s.
yes.
Like with
Neo-Nazi, new Nazi, all that stuff. Okay, so let's go slow, because you said 3 things there. Let's go back to what you just said. You said something about Iran.
Right.
I forget what you said. I wanted to comment on it.
Iran won't fall in line with the SWIFT payment system, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund.
So you're saying every dollar that we have is backed by oil, petrodollar.
Yes.
Now
Indeed.
that is true.
Yes.
In the world?
Yes.
So, but not gold. That's all BS.
Right. So the idea is this.
And now Saddam wanted to go off of that and back it with what?
Potentially euro.
Euro dollars?
Euro. European currency.
But what are they backed by? That's just paper too.
Indeed, it would make them backed by oil. The idea right now is if you are in a country, then you want to buy oil, you need to buy dollars first. We are and this is dying, especially with Saudi Arabia getting off the petrodollar lease, which ended, it was a 50-year lease and it ended recently. So now the issue is we don't produce anything here. We sent off our manufacturing to China, to Canada, to Mexico, to Indonesia. But we have the military, and the military controls the petrodollar. So we keep telling these other countries, if you want to buy oil, you buy dollars from us, we set the price. However, now what's been happening is that Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, and other countries are trading in yuan or rubles. This is putting the petrodollar at risk. So if you go back in time 20 years, you have Saddam Hussein. He says, we're considering trading oil in other currencies.
It was euros. Yeah, it was euro. He
euro.
called the dollar the currency of the enemy.
Indeed. So then we said, oh, geez, better go kill him. Then we have Muammar Gaddafi. What did he want to do? Gold dinars. And he wanted to create the African Union. So what did Hillary Clinton say? We came, we saw, he died.
So people say that Gaddafi wasn't as bad as they say, correct?
Well, I don't know if enough about life in Libya. What I can say is, after he died, warring militias took over and are massacring each other, and the slave trade is back.
So I think two things could be true at once. I know less about Gaddafi than I do about Saddam Hussein, but Saddam Hussein genocided Kurds and other ethnic minorities in the country. He used chemical weapons against them.
Yeah.
He also, I believe, had had plans to assassinate George Bush Sr. Then there was obviously Gulf War I, where he was trying to invade Kuwait. So he was a destabilizing actor in the region, and we wanted a democratic ally where we could export their oil and benefit from having our companies.
Let's just go simple here. Don't go to that story yet. Jesus, you're going to such a different story than this.
Indeed.
Let's go. First of all, are you military, bro? Are you military?
Oh, he's former military.
Barely, but yeah.
Thank you for your service. Okay. So do you agree that Saddam Hussein, for everything that you know, was an evil fucking person?
I don't know that.
Okay. Well, let me explain something to you. In 2007, thank you for your service, brother, I went over to Baghdad in Kuwait, and I went to one of his palaces. So here's just one simple thing. Do you know that Saddam Hussein, every night, let's just say he had 45 palaces, every night they had to have a full course meal set because he might show up?
Wow.
And you never know if he's going to show up. Yeah. And do you know that I went to one of his palaces, and there was something called the elevator, the golden elevator, which was the doors are golden, and the crimes that were committed in this elevator and what I was told and what I saw from the handprints were enough to make it's sick.
I hear you.
So what I'm saying is, from our military, from a general who literally looked like, Robert from Apocalypse Now, like these lifer guys told me that they fucking took out a horrific person.
Where do we draw the line?
I think what we're here right now, and I have to get really passionate about this, is what we've lacked in this world is empathy, human connection, feeling. That's why Charlie Kirk fucked me up so much, is because when you see blood squirting out of a person's fucking neck and you're a person that has blood in your neck, you should be like, that's fucking crazy. That could be anybody. And so that's the human thing of empathy.
So which countries should we invade?
Again, I'm not a geopolitical person, but we shouldn't invade anyone. We should be in our own shit, But if people are trying to fuck with us,
it came from like Rome.
If people are trying to fuck, but how?
Well,
China's here, dude. If I were to take you in Beverly Hills right now, guess what? Some of the richest people are Chinese.
Indeed, they're buying up our farmland. They're flying sorties over our in our airspace.
Well, I don't know. Is that
we've got
military practice?
Flying planes around ours. We've got IP, intellectual property, being stolen by China every day, and they're replicating, stealing our labor. There's the 1,000 Talents program, where they're paying off our academics to steal information from our country that we developed and then reproduce it for pennies on the dollar. They are absolutely aggressing upon us. And more importantly, they are raping the Uyghur Muslims and then forcing them to get abortions. That's going on right now. The point is, there are many evil dictators. There are many evil countries. Which ones do we decide to invade?
Okay, that's a point, a very valid point. And my question is, I don't like it that the USA plays cop to the world, but I don't know. I don't have that answer, dude, because you're right. There's probably, our military would never get arrested if we
went every country on the planet.
100%. And anyone who says shit about the USA and about, this tough, you know what? Go to the Congo. Just go there. Go to
thank you.
Yeah, go to the Eastern Bloc of Europe. Like, these are people that haven't left. And they don't understand how good it is in America. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you that I don't know, but you're right. We would be the busiest military in the world.
We got a country to invade. We got this story from the New York Post. It's time for the U.S. to invade Indonesia because they arrested Bonnie Blue. Actually, she's British, so the U.K. would have to do it, but they're a little preoccupied at the moment. Porn star Bonnie Blue faced up to 15 years in jail after being detained over bang bus stunt in Bali. Apparently, she was soliciting like 18-year-olds to do porn.
Good grief.
And so she's facing 15 years in prison. And, if prosecuted and found guilty, 15 years and a fine of $541,000. Now, what they're saying is they might just deport her. They might say, look, Get her out of the country. Get these guys out of the country. We don't want it here. However, there is a concern that because she is such a disgusting and high profile person, she's famous for banging 1,057 guys in 12 hours. Indonesia may be offended and they won't. It's one thing if some random person shows up to try to do porn and say, get out of here, you can't be here. It's another thing when Bonnie Blue comes here and says, I will defile a nation. And so the one of the theories from legal experts is they may want to make an example out of her, which means if they don't deport her, they may keep her in prison for just a couple of months. So it may be in February, end of February, they finally let her go. However, some do predict they'll want to make an example out of her and actually prosecute and send her to prison for up to 15 years. So she going bye-bye.
Imagine being the Secretary of State of some country and you have a ton of important political issues and sensitivities that you have to deal with. And then this comes across your desk. It's oh yeah, there's some whore in Indonesia that was trying to bang, 20 dudes for some video. And I don't know, how are you going to get her out? How are you going to negotiate with the other side? You have to call up your Indonesian counterpart and be oh yeah, gee whiz, I'm reading the news about this Bonnie Blue girl. And it's just yeah, she's defiling our country and making us look doing an Indian accent. It's just, it's a funny situation, I imagine.
What is your take on this? Because I have my.
I think it's a Muslim majority country or an Islamic country, and I think they take that shit seriously. Didn't you go to school there for a day or two, Serge? Am I doxing you? Singapore, Indonesia, it's all in that islandy Southeast Asia.
It's a bad idea
region
to do this kind of stuff. No. Going to countries where they don't take kindly to this kind of stuff, and then doing it so that way you can make content. Intentionally doing this in a place where it's risque, so that way you can get hopefully
it's a great publicity stunt.
It's a terrible idea,
bro.
She would be executed in Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Afghanistan, Somalia, and North Korea.
A list of countries to liberate, I guess.
No.
Again,
liberate. Why? Because they won't allow Bonnie Blue to bang 1,000 guys?
Yeah, legally, if you don't allow that, then I guess we will liberate you and liberate your women, I guess.
Again, it goes back.
You have the right to be a whore. Women in our country have the right to be as big of whores as they want to be.
Yeah, but that's not
free
in
speech,
our
I
country.
guess.
Let me pose a bigger question here. So, first of all, it shows you how free you are in America that you can do this. I'm actually turned off right now. I think
By her?
100%. And that's coming from me. And I think our culture has gotten so sexualized that it's bizarrely turning me off. And I think that once you bang 15 guys in a day, I think you would be done. Mm-hmm. But to do 1,000 in 12 hours, so it's sad what this woman does, honest to God. There's something beyond gone. And I don't think it's a joke. I think it's fucking sad. And there's a theory out scientifically that you have that much penis and fluid exchange that it ruins you as a woman. And there's also, if you want to go into the demon shit, called succubus.
How does it ruin her? I believe it does too, but...
Okay, do you understand that energy? Do you believe an energy is real?
Well...
Yes or no?
Yes.
You understand what these
what do you mean by energy?
The water experiment. Do you know what that is?
I don't believe that's real.
You don't believe it at all.
They've done more.
You don't believe it at all.
Check out
You don't believe it at all.
What's the water experiment?
Let's slow down. Are you referring to the molecules changing shape based on the emotion? Yeah, I don't believe that.
That's by
You don't believe it at all.
It's by Emoto, a Japanese scientist. But they've
So
actually
you just got
recreated it.
mad about somebody not believing what happened to you, but now you don't believe this that was proven by scientists.
It wasn't proven by scientists.
100% Japanese scientists.
That's not correct.
It actually is.
What they
I was
found
surprised
is
to figure
that
it out.
different water had different shapes. There's no correlation between the emotion. They couldn't replicate hate, created the same molecule.
Have you ever heard of something called cell jumping?
What's that?
It's when you're around somebody so much that you kind of take on certain traits because their cells and your cells exchange.
Well, the saying
And that's
is,
why couples
the saying is you
become-
are the summation of the 5 people who surround you.
100%.
It's not biological. It's behavioral.
I used to believe that, and I know I sound like I'm from Oregon right now, and I'm making a dream catcher, but dude, this changed me, and there's some truth to this shit, and it has to be proven because someone like you who has a big voice has to see it, and I'm not going to convince you right now, but I believe it's more real than just arty-farty shit.
If they can take water, charge it with emotion, and the molecules, let me finish, take a certain shape, then they can replicate that in another bit of water more than once, doing it a couple times to prove that it can be repeated. I'll believe it. They never did that.
I think they have. But number 2 is, do you understand that? Okay, do you believe that words have power?
What does that mean?
I used to not think this. Words have power. If you say words, you'll have power with the word. The word becomes powerful.
Speech and rhetoric can have worldly impact.
100%. So, for instance, if you were to go to bed every night, there's a way of psychology. Let me try to explain this simply. The first thing you have to do is say what you want. So tomorrow, if you say, I want to jog a mile, I want to jog a mile, I want to jog a mile, it's either 30 or 3 times that you say this before you go to sleep that it starts embedding itself onto yourself, in your system, your neurological system. I want to jog a mile. Then you write it down. I want to jog a mile. I want to jog a mile. I want to jog a mile. You do this. It's subconsciously training yourself. So boom, the next day, there's a very good chance that you will try to jog a mile. Simple. That is scientific.
Positive affirmations.
Yes, and it sounds crazy, but it's an actual.
I want to put it like this.
But what I'm saying is, go ahead. What was your question? That has to do with this.
I can understand that maybe some people need to do that, if they're going to run a mile. Me, I literally just decide if I want to run a mile, I'll go do it. I don't need to affirm it to myself or anything like that.
Is it psychological or physical?
It's what I used to think it was I used to think this was hippie shit.
Like psychological, which is fine. And I do.
Well, no, I thought it was like energy, which sounds hippie, then psychological, which has an effect on us, and now it's becoming real.
Do you believe in the power of numbers?
That I do believe in, but I don't know enough about it.
I want to pivot back to this story real quick and
Wait,
a
so he doesn't believe in any
tangential
numbers?
thing. No, just because we had a numerologist yesterday.
Is
Is it true? Do you believe that?
Numerology? No, I don't.
The jury's
I intentionally read the wrong reading for Elaad, and he believed it, and then I
was flattered.
1,000 guys. Let's say 1,000 guys. You have sex with 1,000 guys, and 1,000 different types of semen gets in you. You don't think that's going to?
I don't think it's numerology as to why that's gross and bad, though.
But you don't think it's going to ruin you? You don't think bad energy can get in?
I wouldn't call it energy. I'd call it sperm and STDs potentially. But here's the thing about porn.
That is
Porn and social media has evolved so much in the past 30 years that, and its impact on society and men, and particularly young men, I feel like we really need to understand. So when I was a child, I think most of the viewers here are probably older than I, and probably understand more deeply than I do. But when I was a child, in order to see a picture of a naked woman, I remember the only place that it really existed was in a gas station. The internet didn't work well enough. I wouldn't understand how to get on the websites. I didn't have access to a computer like that. To get any sort of content like that, I'd have to run in a gas station, be in an area that I wasn't supposed to, peek through a hidden section and grab a dirty magazine. I'd have to open it up because it wouldn't be on the cover, and look at a Playboy magazine. But the barrier to entry to watch hardcore porn of dozens of people banging this prostitute or whore or whatnot, it's too easy. And then the downstream consequences of that are extremely bad, and we have yet to fully comprehend. This comes with the ubiquity of the internet and social media just being so apparent. And it's not even just the hardcore stuff. It's just so many of my buddies are just scrolling their Instagram feeds, and it's fat asses and big chests, and it's just guys, it's the middle of the fucking day. What are we even doing here? You're going from political content, news, to just softcore porn, and it's just become so normalized and disgusting. I wouldn't have been able to get that stuff in magazines. Now you get that stuff just scrolling, and it seems as though the most lucrative thing that most young women could do is get into porn, and I don't know where that leaves us, but the societal consequences of this have yet to be seen, and they're going to be really bad.
Should she be in jail?
For what?
For this.
Yes.
For having sex with men on camera?
She I guess it was because she was attempting to. They arrested her and charged her.
She didn't even have sex.
I think she might have. I think it was producing pornography. Was
It might be illegal in Indonesia, or there's
OnlyFans model. Just call her a hooker, dude. Here's a question for you: should it be legal to bang 1,000 guys in 12 hours in the United States?
Should the government have a bullet to your head, a gun to your head?
He asked a question. Start answering this. You guys start with you and go around. He asked that. Answer the question.
Should the government?
No, answer his question.
Crib?
The answer is
so
no.
simple.
No.
Okay. Yes or no?
The answer is yes.
Answer is yes.
What was the question?
Should it be illegal to bang 1,000 guys in 12 hours?
Is it the
should it be
1,000th
illegal?
dick, or is it the 500?
Illegal?
No, it should not be illegal.
I think it should be.
I don't think it should be illegal.
It's condemnable,
but I
immoral,
think,
disgusting.
I think you're morally fucking illegally.
I think it should be
You shouldn't do that. You should not do that.
I think
Don't do that.
I think there are lines and limits to everything, and the question is, what do we tolerate, what don't we? And while I certainly think there's an argument for why prostitution should be legal, two consenting adults want to engage in an activity, and then they want to exchange money. It's stupid that you could be like, just don't pay me, otherwise I go to jail, but let's do it anyway. Oh, I'll buy you dinner later or something. It's like, get out of here.
What's the most women?
However,
men.
Right. So all of these things are always defined by legislation that we, the people, will determine to be reasonable. What I mean is, law on the books isn't always enforced. Like in West Virginia, it's illegal to cohabitate, but nobody gets arrested for it.
Cohabitate meaning I have a girlfriend?
A man and woman cannot live together in West Virginia. It's illegal.
Unless you're married?
Yes.
No, you're not. That's not true.
It absolutely is true.
You can't live in a house, and can you just say you're not hooking up?
No, it is illegal in West Virginia to cohabitate.
Meaning you can't have a female roommate?
Yes.
Dude, every stereotype of West Virginia just got reinforced.
Tons of
my
states.
God. Are you kidding
You could live
me?
with your cousin, but just not your girlfriend.
Come on, that's embarrassing.
I got to stop you there.
You pretentious
Whoa,
elitist.
come on.
I'm an elitist.
I got to stop you there because it's actually the opposite stereotype.
What's the stereotype here?
The stereotype is that they're not having sex.
I'm confused. Listen, the bottom line is this. That's crazy that you can't just have a woman as your roommate.
This says it's not explicitly legal under state law, but is subject to specific criminal provisions. West Virginia Code 6184. Criminalizes.
No, it's
The
West
issue is they no longer enforce these laws.
Yeah.
They've been on the books forever.
So it's old school, like...
It's on the books. It's in the law, but no cop is going to arrest anyone.
Oh, okay, so you're fine.
There are two states that still have laws explicitly, Michigan and Mississippi.
But it does say it's criminal to do lewd and lascivious cohabitation. So maybe if you're not married to a girl in West Virginia and you make porn together.
Florida finally repealed it in 2016 and Virginia in 2013. In 2001, 7 states repealed it. So it actually was on the books for quite a long time. The point is, there are lots of things that we have as illegal we don't enforce. My point is, it's fine to be like, look, I get it. People can bang who they want to bang. We're not going to get involved in that. But 1,000 people is where you get into lewd and lascivious and obscenity areas where we're like, if we don't say we're not going, she's going on social media apps, promoting it, encouraging it, gloating over it, and getting paid for it. I say there's a line. We should not allow this.
Dude, on this line, I agree with you. And to your point is, bro, low key, I get some of those boobs and butts, and I swear I was just looking at cats.
Dude, right? They're pushing it.
No, they honestly, dude, I look at food recipes, bro, and I'm getting crazy amount of shit that I didn't ask for. I reset my algorithm, and it still happens. So there is a sexualizing, like I'm saying, my buddies, we're all like, yo, it's a turnoff. So yeah, it's hard, Tim, because it's such a, I agree with you, this should never happen. But you're right. If it affects society at some point, I mean, sorry, we'll draw the line at 1,000. We're such bastards. Just don't go 1,001. That's all we're asking.
I wanted to follow up with you because I know you have an affinity for libertarians, and one of their catchphrases is like, it doesn't matter what
affinity.
You have an affinity for a libertarian.
I literally said I don't like the Libertarian Party because they're wacky.
No, but for libertarianism, when you were younger, you had an affinity.
No.
You don't have any affinity for libertarians?
I never did.
I thought you did.
I said I liked libertarians. Like I liked Ron Paul because he said we may not agree on policy, but I'll never force you to do something. I said I can accept that. But the libertarians were a bit wacky and all over the place.
I know they have a saying of like consenting adults behind closed doors should be able.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Okay.
There's that.
Just to add to that, I'll shut up. Is that the freedom of the people thinking you're taking their rights away? A lot of these people that are worried about their rights being taken away want to do deviant shit. The deviants is what they want their rights.
The Libertarian Party is a hodgepodge collection of various degenerates who want to do something illegal that they can't, and they're unified under let me do my illegal thing and I'll let you do yours.
Yep.
That's what the Libertarian Party is. Then you have this one chunk.
Isn't that Democrats too?
The Democrats are actually, I'll say whatever to get power, and it includes degenerate shit.
Okay.
But the Libertarians have this one, like, here's the big circle of libertarianism, and there's this tiny chunk called the Mises Caucus, where they're like, guys, we just don't want war, and we want to lower taxes. And everyone else is like, can we look at animals doing dirty things? And they're like, no, stop. You're ruining this for us. And then then they nominate some gay communist.
There is a distinction between libertarianism and libertinism, and the libertinism is what has infected the Libertarian Party.
We're going to go to your chats and Rumble rants. So smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. But before we do, we got a great sponsor. Yo, it is Cowboy Colostrum. Oh, man, I love this. Did you find it impossible to know what your body really needs? Did your gut still feel off and your energy low? Cowboy Colostrum takes the guesswork out of wellness. If you don't know what colostrum is, it's the first milk mammals produce after giving birth. It's not like regular milk. It's thicker, richer, and packed with hundreds of bioactive ingredients that help support immunity, gut health, hair, skin, nails, and athletic performance, which makes it especially helpful during seasonal transitions when our immune system tend to be put to the test. Think of it as nature's original multivitamin, designed by biology, not a lab. It's like a natural protein shake, basically. You just mix 1 scoop of the powder and stir it into coffee, milk, smoothies, you name it. Comes in amazing flavors like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, made with real freeze-dried berries. Unlike other colostrum brands, Cowboy Colostrum is never diluted, never spray-dried, always sourced from grass-fed cows on regenerative U.S. farms. No fillers, no junk, just the good stuff. Hormone-free, allergen-free, grass-fed, and third-party tested. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off their entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com and use code TIM at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code TIM at cowboycolostrum.com. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Support the show. Tell them that we sent you there because it works. I remember when Luke first bragged about this and he told me that I had to buy colostrum, and I was like, Luke, I don't know what are you talking about, but shout out to these guys.
Some people call it liquid gold.
Liquid gold, they call it.
You know what's crazy,
very good
bro? Is
stuff.
like we're talking about what people view you as, and like this is an amazing product, and I would get this product. Like, so it's like I feel like some of you guys that are podcasters, hardcore, and they like guns and well shit, but you like want the healthiest shit. Like
We're Maha, man.
I'm about that life.
We like one of the sponsors, Backyard Butchers, is like real ranch raised beef you can order.
I want that. Holler at me, backyard.
We got this right here, Brickhouse Nutrition.
I'm
for the
about
greens.
that life.
It's
Okay.
like vegetables, you mix it, it tastes great.
Do you guys drink booze?
Nope.
Negative.
I don't either.
Yeah.
None of you guys.
You like fast and meditate and go into
Well, meditating would be against him, but I do fast. But I think meditation's not bad either.
We got to read your Rumble rants and chats. Let's start with Cheeseburger, who says Bonnie Blue literally fafoed.
big time. She
fafoed.
fafoed, dude.
Indeed.
Fafoed right into Bally.
Corporal Fett says Candace has effectively destroyed the rights coalition. Is there any way to fix our coalition? Is there any way forward? She's unhinged and quite possibly the greediest woman in politics today.
Yeah, you can fix it, dude. If a big magnet gets shattered, you just build a bigger magnet and all the pieces get sucked back right to it.
Here's what I see. For a long time, a lot of people refused to either pay attention or engage with what she was doing. She increasingly made it crazier and worse. And because so many people were unwilling to say anything, it became this gigantic mound of chicken crap. However, as more and more people start coming out, the people who follow her are starting to realize, well, everyone is calling her crazy. Maybe she is. See, the thing is, when she's saying crazy things, but everybody's being like, oh, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Then people who follow her are like, wow, she's the only one who's talking about it. There needs to be pushback on these lunatics if the right doesn't, what's the right word for this? The left did not police the woke and allowed them to run amok and go crazy and destroy the Democratic Party. If the right does not do the same thing for its own side and say, we do not engage the crackpottery, then you will create this sect of Candace conspiratards, and people will be like, I don't F with the Republicans, man. Those are weird people.
The word you're
It's
looking
gonna be
for
like, well,
is gatekeep. But we don't like to say it because it doesn't sound kosher.
keep
If you don't
people in
gatekeep
check.
the idiots and retards and conspiracy theorists out of the party, it dilutes.
No, you keep your friends in check. If you really care about Candace and what she's doing, tell her, talk to her. But you got to keep people in check.
Go give her a phone call and
That's
see,
the
let
other
me know
thing.
how that
She
works
has,
out for you.
you know what it is?
I don't have her
she's
number.
Too,
I tried to.
she's too sharp for. I imagine if like one of her friends actually went to her and said, you know, here's how I imagine. They'd be like, Candace, I think you're going a little far. She'd be like, how am I going too far? What did I do wrong? That's ridiculous. And they'd go, yeah, you're right, Candace. How do you get to this point where you are so assured of the insanity? It's because you're too aggressive and people are scared to say anything. And that's why most conservative commentators would not say anything. I mean, she literally made a thumbnail that said who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death and used a picture of me. Like, this is what... And so now the message is clear. If you criticize her, she's going to make you the villain of her drama. Well, I don't care. I don't care. Let's read more of these. All right. J.R.R. Rod says, Jamie Kennedy, Malibu Most Wanted. Love that movie.
Yeah, what's up, son? Get your colostrum.
Colostrum. Look at it. I want some right now. Look.
Bonnie Blue. Yes, she did.
I haven't seen the movie.
Asriel says, I have had a effing enough of this BS. Candace needs to stop. She, at this point, is a jealous child. All I see coming out of her mouth is wah, wah, wah. My hurts. Grow up, little girl. Yikes. Rothflo says the season finale of Candace's show will be her bringing on a channeler of the dead like Cody ITC to ask him from beyond the grave. Dude.
She's a new MLK. She had a dream.
Didn't she say Charlie came to her in a dream?
Yep, exactly.
Something along those lines.
Well, dude, MLK had a crazy dream too. So maybe we should be making fun of her for it.
Jay Dirtbiker says, make historical war movies great again. I want to see an accurate movie about the Crusades. That sounds fun. I'm actually pretty excited about Pendragon Cycle. It looks really good.
You know, there were like
You saw the trailer for it?
I saw the trailer. There's just so much, I feel like, negative energy surrounding it moving forward. Like all the behind the scenes stuff. There's so much pressure for it to succeed and replace some, you know, I feel like they're going for a Game of Thrones type show, at least in some of the graphics that I saw. And I mean, I'm wishing them the best, and Daily Wire is trying their hand at culture. But if this doesn't meet expectations, I mean, shit.
Jeremy was the power behind it, and he's gone now. But I looked at the Daily Wire YouTube channel, and the biggest videos they put out are always the behind the scenes of Pendragon. And the trailer comes out, it gets millions of views. I think Jeremy was correct about the direction they needed to go. Now, Daily Wire just seems to be, with all due respect, because I like these guys, but it's a lot of, it's four guys saying similar things to each other. There's a limit to this space, you know? They needed to go in a creative direction. And I guess, you know, it looks like what happened, I don't know for sure, that there was an internal feud with Jeremy over the direction of the company. Jeremy wanted to do creative content and make the company bigger than just political commentary. And then I guess as political commentary starts to wane, and that's their real money base, they ousted him or he quit. I don't know exactly what happened. And then they're like, now we're going to do political commentary. And now that's kind of all it is. But I'm excited for Pendragon, and it may end up being massive. So
Is that a video game they're making?
the Pendragon Cycle is a series of novels about like King Arthur and Merlin. And stuff like that.
Arthur
And so-
Pendragon is his last name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uther Pendragon is fine.
And so they made a
Movie about it or TV
a
show?
series. Yeah.
Series? Okay.
Yeah, the Daily Wire started working on this years ago, and it looks good.
Oh, it looks sick.
It looks pretty dang good. Yeah, it like Game of Thrones esque.
And it'll only be available on their thing.
Yep,
Okay.
presumably.
That's a difficult barrier to entry.
I'm gonna watch it for sure.
You got to put clips on YouTube.
I'm excited
and
for it. It's
stuff
coming out
to
next
get-
month.
Yeah, but outside of the people, the conservatives who are already signed up to Daily Wire, it's like, why would you dip your toe in? Like, I don't know why a liberal would want to support Daily Wire to watch this show, because they hate Daily Wire, so why even give it a chance?
Put it on Amazon or something.
Yeah, if they flip it to a big streamer,
Yeah.
make them.
But then if one of these outlets buy it, then it's just like, oh, you're working with these fascists, so they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Let's read this. We got Patriot Girl says, just wanted to say I thought Son of the Mask was a cute movie, and I'm 30, if that means anything. I really enjoyed it. I loved Loki's character and his relationship with Thor. Well, there you go.
There you go, buddy. You know what? That's the age group, though.
Yeah.
That's fascinating because I have these people. I go to these conventions all the time. I was telling them, and they're like these big autograph conventions. They're amazing. And now, like the 23 to 30 tell me they love the movie. Now, when it came out, everyone told me they hated the movie. And I said, why? And one girl said, well, my mom would just put, me in front of the TV, and I'd watch it on loop.
I think the issue was the original Mask.
Well, dude, and what I have is that my loop was Scarface, Beverly Hills Cop, and Nightmare on Elm Street. So
pretty crazy.
But it's a good loop, right? So it's like I think it's just people have different things.
I think it's because the original Mask IP was a bit violent. And the movie they made was actually more intended for an older audience. And Son of the Mask is more for like, it's a kooky cartoon for kids,
1,000%. There's a lot more, but yes.
Right. So they start telling adults to watch a kids movie, and they're going to be like, well, I don't want to watch this,
Yeah, it could have worked in the sense of adult jokes and then funny visuals for kids. Like Disney does that the best.
All right. DITW says the Stooges theory might hold. Candace could be laying groundwork for a Macron lawsuit defense. It's just an entertainment show, all fake and crazy. Everyone knows it's not serious. I believe that will be her defense. We saw similarly with Fox News that it's not news, it's opinion and entertainment. I imagine that will be her only defense because, I got to be honest. My brother's not a public figure. I mean, they might try to argue he is, but claiming that he committed a shooting in which I claimed to have, quote, survived is psychotic. It is beyond the pale. It is insanely offensive and just made up. And I don't know where she comes up with this nonsense.
The thing about Candace Owens is that I don't think between her and her husband, they give a crap about any of these defamation suits. Her husband's worth well over $200 million. They can weather any of these financial storms.
No, they can't.
You don't think so?
And Alex,
200 plus million? I mean, I'm sure they have an LLC.
Alex
and whatnot.
Jones owes what they tried suing him for the GDP of France.
$1 billion.
No, at first it was a
Or
trillion.
1.4 billion.
Yeah.
Something.
Yep.
Crazy.
We'll see how this pans out. I don't think she's scared of these defamation suits. I think she has the money to, she has FU money.
Yes, but accusing someone of trying to murder a family member, a person who's not a public figure, doesn't fall under Times v. Sullivan.
She's not scared to go after Bridget McCrone. I mean, she's
I know,
happy to
that's
make
wild.
up stuff of. She'll make if she's
Yeah,
willing
of
to make
course.
up stuff about Bridget McCrone. I mean, she's willing to make up
people
anything
were
about
posting-
anybody, you, your family. I mean, it's
People were posting photos of my brother like, this is him. Like, this is what she does. Like, I called my brother and I was like, dude, like, are you seeing this? Like, yeah, I'm tweeting it. I'm like, well, stop. Like,
Are
people are nuts.
you trying to? Would you ever try to get together with her and talk it out, or is that done?
well, there's the question of she's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, she wants to do crazy things. So I don't know that engaging with a lunatic when I'm trying to talk about serious issues and she's claiming the U.S. military, the French Legion, Israel, men in maroon shirts, are Erica's wife is involved. Like, when she's literally just vomiting all over the table, there's no discussion. It's like someone asked me, like, hey, that dog's taking a dump. Do you want to debate him? I'll be like, why? He's just shitting
We
on
had
the floor.
Milo on the show last week.
Yeah, but Milo is very different. Milo's very different.
He's kind of similar, but he is, of course, very different. than
Milo's very
everybody.
different.
But it was more of
Interestingly,
just a
he called,
blast. That show was just a wild explosion. It wasn't.
Yeah,
we weren't engaging.
Milo deserves some critique and criticism as he does. But he is. I don't consider him the same as Candace.
And I don't think he's a dirty dog taking a shit like you said either. I just think we didn't get
There's a
a
lot to be
political
wrong.
discourse that night, and it was still really cool.
Let's grab some more. We got Shane H. Wilder. He says Cam's verification did nothing to satiate these lunatics. Now they're like, he edited it. No, duh. Cam is a stand-up dude and isn't going to dox the compound's location. These people are tarded AF. Yeah, right. The first guy called literally the wrong police department, and then they were like, "That proves it." It's intentional lies. They want it to be a lie. Dirk T. Sanchez says, "I just bought a case of pool water. 1, because of your genuine reaction to Candace yesterday, and 2, to try and encourage you to keep doing IRL. We need you and your crew, Tim. Please keep creating." I love the idea, the preliminary ideas that we've been bouncing around with the Rumble crew about making something bigger and bringing everyone together, because having all these independent islands just puts us all at risk. So if, I was talking about how I was talking with him, and I think I mentioned on the show, like Fox News is a skyscraper. So when you go into the studio, ain't nobody getting in there.
Nope.
Bulletproof windows, you can't open the doors. And I was like, we need something like that. But if everybody works out of the same office building and same studio, you only got to hire 1 security crew for everybody instead of 15 security crews, which is very expensive. So we'll see where it goes.
have I pushed Fox News hard enough? Are they in the cards? No.
You give them a call. You give them a call.
I'll have somebody there would love, I'm sure, to speak to you. More than one.
Black Hills Ranch says, no, if God creates something so heavy he can't lift it, he limited himself. By that logic, he can create something that can kill him. Dumb, outdated paradox, all wrong, Tim. God is reason. He is who he is. This is why I'm not a Christian. Because the concept of creation itself is a creation of God. And the Christian view is that defies logic, and logic must exist for there to be a God, and God is He is the logos of the universe. My perception is God is the infinite singularity of all things. God is the decider of what is or is not. The function of the universe was decided by God. The concept of heavy was decided by God. The concept of immovable was decided by God. God could simply decide immovable no longer exists. God could decide immovable exists. God could decide to create paradox because paradox was created by God in the first place. It is strange to me that people would say the reality in which we exist that includes logical contradiction was not created by God because God is logic. And I say, then I view that as a limitation that is not omnipotence. My view is that logic itself was decided by God. God literally decided one day, logic will be this. Put it into place. And then we all went, no, if you defy that, God can't do it. It's like, no, you don't understand. God can move the 1 and the 2 whenever he wants.
Well, you're making me think about using vortexes to dampen UNRWA radiation so that we can dispel with, the limitations on inertia. And just when you start to accelerate, you keep accelerating.
Here's a good one. Mythos says, Tim, consider drones. They are never in the same place and can be equipped with thermals and are relatively cheap. We actually did look into getting robot dogs for the property. We get like 5 robot dogs. They just walk around. And what happens is you'll have like 2 on rotation where they walk the whole property and then sit down in the charger. And then 3 will come out, move around, and then sit in the charger. And then 2 comes out. And we can mount them with rifles or flamethrowers. Now, to be fair, probably paintball guns. But,
Flamethrower.
Dude, the robot dogs, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, yeah. You see the videos.
And then what happens is when someone comes on the property, like 15 dogs walk up real slowly, and then one of them just tilts back and goes, "Halt, intruder. You are on private property. We will open fire in 15 seconds. Do not approach." And then guns slide up.
I hope you have a little bit
And
more.
then the
than
bolt
15.
slides back.
Maybe you could hire a couple of Ukrainians to just hang out with their self-destructive drones, their suicide drones, and somebody.
We did that. We went to Home Depot, and we went, trabajo, and then they were like, see.
They have Mexicans here in West Virginia?
And I was like, you guys want to work? And they were like, yeah, we can work. What do you want to do? I was like, I just want you to stand in front of my property.
Oh, see.
I'm kidding. We never did that.
I want to go back to what you
I'm
said.
ripping off South Park, by the way.
Simulation theory. Do you believe in that or no?
What is that?
Simulation theory.
That we live in a simulation.
Oh, simulation. I thought you said assimilation.
Simulation theory.
Yeah, I know simulation.
Do you believe in it?
No.
Wow.
I think it's impossible to tell.
We should
but
talk about
no,
this on the after
no.
show too, because you brought up energy.
Well, we got to get into finer details on what that means. So my view is that simulation theory is like if you studied any kind of theology, simulation theory is, I'll put it like this. When you see like Elon Musk or some tech billionaire go, what if we live in a constructed universe where a more advanced civilization or power created the world we're in? It's like, that was the first page of the Bible. So simulation theory is it's like 2% of theology, and priests and philosophers have contemplated these ideas for thousands of years, but simulists seem to have just figured it out instead of actually just going to learned religious folk and asking them.
Well, this is going to be too long, so I'll keep it simple. But you know that there's multiple people saying that we live in a hologram. And if you understand what that means, meaning that you know the split atom theory.
Which is
And you know
Schrodinger's cat?
Yes.
Huh?
So you understand the split atom theory.
What is that?
If they fire two atoms.
That's the double slit experiment.
Yeah, double slit. So do you believe that?
So the interesting thing about the double slit experiment, if an ant was walking across the table and you were trying to measure the distance the ant walked, so you slammed a ruler next to it, and then the ant turned left, and you went, oh my God, the act of observing the ant has changed its direction. That's what it is.
No.
It is.
No, because you just did a ruler so that affected the ant.
Indeed, and what tool are they using to monitor electrons?
You're observing it with your eyes.
There's a tool that's interfering with wave function collapse. And so the hippies had someone tell them about the double slit experiment, and they went, oh, whoa. And then the scientists went, guys, what we're actually saying is we don't know the point at which wave function collapse happens.
But the scientists aren't they're not saying it's not real.
What the scientists are saying is that there is an interference at some point. We don't know where it is.
But
they are not saying the act of observation alters reality.
I think there's been some papers that said the act of observation does.
If it were mainstream...
Dude, come on. Fucking back me up on this.
Well,
Jesus
I think
Christ.
so. You got your neurons in your brain, muscles, stomach. They're all affecting the magnetic field around you, which
You're
is
just like, I'm
affecting
gonna
everything
talk about
within that
something totally
magnetic
different.
field. I could do this all night, which is why I haven't said a thing.
We got to
Go ahead. I'll shut up.
We got a couple more minutes to grab some of these chats. So we got Legama. He says, I was very happy to see your 1,000% valid comments about Candace. The woke Maoists endure and are deeply entrenched in the U.S. Candace's BS is a pebble in the engine of the war machine to root out the woke left, making everything idiotic chaos. Time to shut her claptrap. Yeah, I think she's basically like, it's a tumor growing on the right that everybody was scared to address because they felt like it would damage them personally. But if you don't stop it, then the right will cease to exist and the Democrats will win. And she literally said, we don't care about your midterms. She knows she's burning down the coalition. She does not care, nor does her audience. Yeah. They live in Wally World. They don't care if Democrats win. I do. All right, we got Ferris McLaren says, Occam's razor suggests Hanlon's razors best explains Candace's behavior. One dummy is taking down TPUSA single-handedly, and you all are conspiracy theorists for assuming she's evil. So you genuinely believe that you think Candace isn't cognizant of all of the inconsistencies in everything she said? That she didn't decide today to say, wow, it was the military that did it. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's not stupid. She's very smart. People don't accidentally get to these positions of power. When people are like, Donald Trump's a moron, I'm like, no, he's not. He's a billionaire that owned like 500 different companies and turned $1 million into $1 billion. He's very smart. It's stupid to look at someone who is doing something consistently successful and go like, yeah, but they're actually stupid.
Yeah, there's wisdom, then there's intelligence. She's obviously highly intelligent, but is she wise? Does she know the implications of what she's doing? I don't know. Because if she really understood the damage she could possibly be doing to humans' emotions, soul, like maybe she wouldn't.
I think she's a narcissist and she doesn't give a
I love this one. Trusted source says Tim has what we call CDS, Candace Derangement Syndrome. Don't forget Chuck Schumer Derangement Syndrome, Nancy Pelosi Derangement Syndrome, Elizabeth Warren Derangement Syndrome, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Derangement Syndrome.
Sounds like you've got derangement
syndrome, Gavin Newsom Derangement Syndrome, Antifa Derangement Syndrome, California Derangement. The list goes on of everything I've criticized. And this one time it's like Candace is nuts and they're like, oh, Tim, you're acting weird. Yeah, I don't care, dude. MAGA 250 says Candace is a Fed. Maybe. Her lawyers work in the same building as Feds. That was her own revelation.
True.
When they say this Fed thing for everyone, that means everyone, they're just on the payroll.
Yeah, Candace got the call.
So that's when they say when people are Feds, because you hear this a lot. You're a Fed.
I'll just say it is very interesting that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The biggest blow to the right coalition, but more importantly, specifically to Turning Point USA, their leader and founder and main fundraiser, gone. Someone killed Charlie Kirk to destroy Turning Point and stop his work. The second most devastating thing done to Turning Point and Charlie's work, Candace Owens. So we got a list, right, of all the people that have done, from a list of 1 to 10, who did the most damage to Turning Point USA? First, you have the assassin, presumably Tyler Robinson. And second, you have Candace Owens. After that, I don't know. They're being sued by somebody, I imagine. All right, everybody. We're going to go to the uncensored portion of the show. So smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. That will be all over at rumble.com/TimcastIRL. You don't want to miss it. Jamie, do you want to shout anything out?
You can. My podcast is Hate to Break It to You. It comes out every Monday at 1 p.m. Also, just my Instagram is the Jamie Kennedy. I'm on X, Jamie Kennedy. Just look for there. Thank you so much.
I'll take it from here, Jamie. Hey, man, I just want to talk about energy. I'm talking about subatomic, the cymatic vibration of reality causing things to appear in place at the subatomic realm, which is probably part of what you're going at. So we'll tap on that in the after show. Until then, you can follow me at Ian Crossland across the internet and check out graphene.movie. We went down to Texas and recorded a bunch of scientists working on nanomaterials. The documentary will be coming out soon. You can sign up for the newsletter at graphene.movie. Elaad.
Hey, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Elaad Eliyahu, the White House correspondent here at Timcast. I'm excited to announce that later this week, I'll be going on an ice ride along up in New York City. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll have footage of that on the Timcast News and on my social media. So be sure to follow at Timcast News on Twitter and Instagram and at Elaad Eliyahu as well. So I'll be away for the next few days for that. Following that, we don't know exactly what's going on with IRL. So if you guys don't see me more, I just want to say it was an honor and privilege. Tim, thank you so much for the opportunities here, and I've loved and appreciated every moment on here. So it's been great. It's been real. It's been fun. I hope we figure something out for the future, and be sure to tune in for more. Phil?
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is All That Remains. You can check out 2 songs from All That Remains on Rocksmith. You can check out Rocksmith on, PC, mobile, or PlayStation. You can check out the band All That Remains on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We will see you all at rumble.com/TimcastIRL in about 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging out.